Welcome to the VAFA William Buck SEN Match of the Day.
He has a bounce, he crosses 50, he pins the ears back, and he drills the goal! You can tweet that and hashtag it bloody good.
It goes high up and under the full foot. Becky's taking a ripper!
Makes a name for himself with these long bombs from outside the arc. It's a long bomb from outside the arc!
Hello and welcome to Saturday afternoon amateur footy. Round 15 of the William Buck Premier Men's season takes us to St Bernard's College, where we find ourselves a game with significant weighting in the relegation battle of 2025, as three clubs fight to remain out of the dreaded ninth position in Premier B footy next year in 2026. De La Salle, we know, are destined for a Premier B return with a winless season to date, but as to who goes down with them, well, that's yet to be told, I suppose, as Collegians, who visit the Snake Pit today. They're currently in that ninth position. They're yet to win a game this side of the double bye, but their form has been good, coming within 4 points of St Kevin's last week. St Bernard's, well, they're a game up the road, but with the second worst percentage in the VAFA. Their spot is far from safe, and the run home is a tricky one for both Steve Alessio's Snow Dogs and also Geordie McKenzie's Lions. It's the fight for survival for the second consecutive year for the Snow Dogs after graduating to top flight at the end of 2023. VAFA William Buck SEN Match of the Day, live on vafa.com.au and the SEN website and app. Paddy Grindlay with you again this afternoon. The sharpest eye in amateur footy, Hugo Higginbotham, is beside me here today at the Snake Pit in Essendon. Hugo, you and I in the comms box. I'm a man, Raj Johnston, on the boundary. This is a broadcast that could get real hairy real quick.
Hello, Paddy. Great to be here. One of my favourite grounds in the VAFA out here at the Snake Pit. But yeah, just the two of us. I think there's a song about that, isn't there?
I think
but
so.
We'll be right. We've got a great lunch going on behind us as well. It actually makes me feel young looking at that lunch. It's good. But talking about lunch, Paddy, how was the canteen?
It was great. I may or may not have worn my hot dog down the front of my nice VAFA shirt, but that's a story for another day, or maybe perhaps later in the broadcast.
What was great about it is it must have went through one shirt onto the next one as well, doubled up, which is really good. But what a day we've got here. Bathed in sunshine, this ground, one of the best grounds in the VAFA. And how good is this global warming, climate change stuff? Look at the weather, Paddy. The sun, it's amazing. It's going to be sunburnt today. But today's a day that lends itself for high scoring, Paddy. Big marks, lots of goals to be kicked. It's exciting. Bring it on.
This is the Saturday warm-up, all thanks to Mecca Care, providing care for more than 16,500 people each week across Greater Melbourne and regional Victoria since 1959. And Hugo, you're with us once again thanks to HitIQ and its game-changing Protect Concussion Management System. You can use the code VAFA50, that's VAFA50, to get $50 off at hitiq.com, HITIQ.com. And we did mention our man Raj Johnston, who's on the boundary for us today and has a big job with the Around the Grounds for Tobin Brothers funerals today from the Snake Pit, and he's going to have a job not getting himself sunburnt out in the boundary. Hello to you, Raj.
Good afternoon, Paddy, Hugo. Great to be with you, and good afternoon, everyone listening from home. Yeah, it is a wonderful day for footy. Blue skies, not a cloud in the sky. 17. I'll be staying down here. I'm not in a rush to come back up, that's for sure.
Yeah, you got the long sleeves on and you got the jeans as well, so you might be cooking. We'll be keeping an eye on you today across the course of the afternoon. Raj Johnston, you'll have the coach of Collegians, Geordie McKenzie, shortly. I'm told he's imminently, well, I'm told by the man himself, he's imminently about to become a father for the first time. So if he has to jet off, we're told his assistant coach, Jack Fitzpatrick, who is, of course, the former Demon and Hawk, will take over the coaching reins probably halfway through the game at the Snake Pit, which is a added element to this game. Steve Alessio will talk all things St Bernard's with us a little bit later on. So we've spoken a little bit about the relegation narrative, Hugo. I feel like we spent a lot of time this year talking about the top two, about the Old Zaverians and Old Brighton, and then St Kevin's and Old Haileybury and the University Blacks after them. But the relegation battle for the last couple of weeks has gotten really, really tight. You've got St Bernard's currently in 7th on 22 points, 5 wins, 8 losses, 1 draw, with a percentage of 73.9. The University Blues on 20 points, 4 wins, 8 losses, 2 draws, and a percentage of 91.6. And then in 9th spot, Collegians, 18 points, 4 wins, 9 losses, 1 draw, a percentage of 87.4. Let's go through the tail of the tape then. We'll start with Collegians and how they can remain in top flight in 2026, because it's a little bit of a tricky run home.
They've got a very tricky run home, and they've been in A grade since 2007, so they're in foreign territory being down here. But this is one of the great things about the VAFA, the 2 up, 2 down. It gets very interesting because there's no dead rubbers at all. But Collegians run home, they're playing the top of the ladder. Look, they've been really good this year. They've lost 3 games, I think, by under 10 points against good sides, so it's there. Heartbreaking last week against St Kevin's, but they are, one of the best finishing teams in the VAFA. But today's important for both of these clubs. I just noticed St Bernard's have a deficient percentage as well. Only 73. Collegians, not a bad percentage of 87, considering they are 9th on the ladder. And you sort of feel that might come into it as we get a bit closer to the business end.
And Collegians, the run home. St Bernard's today, obviously, and in the last 3 weeks, the Old Zaverians at home, top of the table. Old Brighton away, second on the table. But then they get D-La Cell at home to finish, and D-La yet to win a game in 2025. The run home for St Bernard's. They get Collegians, obviously, today. Old Scotch on the road, Old Haileybury at home, and then St Kevin's at home. So tricky for both clubs, and today will matter a hell of a lot as we look to find the club that will go down with D-La to Premier B in 2026. Geordie McKenzie is the coach of Collegians. Let's hear from him and our boundary rider, Raj Johnston.
Thanks, Paddy, and thanks for your time, Geordie. You've had some really competitive matches across the course of the season, but on a few occasions just haven't been able to get it quite done. What do you think needs to change today to correct that record?
Yeah, it's a good point, Raj. We've been in most games. I reckon only 2 games, probably at three-quarter time, we haven't been in. So, in a way it's positive, but in a way it's frustrating too. As you said, we haven't found a way to get it done. And look, sometimes it's been a mixed bag, to be honest. But I think the big thing we're focusing on is in those big moments, in those big occasions and big parts of games where the game is on the line, the importance of just playing our role and keeping it simple and not straying away from that. So that's probably been a big learning curve for what's been a pretty young group this year, but a young and exciting group that through effort and intent, in a lot of games. So messaging doesn't change today in the sense of it will be tight and tough and contested, and it will definitely be close. Can we stick to our guns, do the simple thing well, and hopefully get the result?
Now, when you played St Bernard's earlier in the year, that was a tight loss, unfortunately. What did you learn from that game, and what will be the keys to victory today?
Yeah, absolutely. It was another one like Bernard's well and truly deserved to win. I think they really got going, as I mentioned before. When the game was on the line, they had some really big moments, some really big contests, and I think the cream rise to the top. So your Vagues of the world, Haggard, they've got a lot of good players. Not all of them playing today, but they've got a lot of other players that have stepped up throughout the year. Look, it was in a position where we thought we were in a really good position in the last quarter with that one, and obviously we haven't dwelled on it. We moved on nice and quick, but to once again to step up and play our role and not sort of sit on our heels when it looked like we were in a pretty good position. That was a big learning from that one, but at the end of the day, we've got to get ourselves in that position again, whether it be half-time or three-quarter time. We need to be in that position to hopefully execute and get the result. If we can't get there, then there's no point talking about this type of thing.
Any changes from last week's team?
Few changes. We've got 4. So Bazzani comes back from overseas. Corey Cassidy was a bit sore last week. He comes in. Caleb Frank's got a VFL bias. He's put up his hand, which is great. And we've got one more. Will Pockney comes back from a sore knee where he had to miss 1 to 2 weeks as well. So good to have Pockers up forward again.
We're looking forward to today's game. All the best. Thanks, Geordie.
Thanks, Raj. Cheers, lads.
Back to you guys.
Thanks, Raj and Geordie. This is the VAFA William Buck SEN Match of the Day, live every Saturday afternoon on vafa.com.au and the SEN app and website. Thanks to Collegians coach Geordie McKenzie for his time on the Saturday warm-up. Thanks to Mekwacare. And just running back over those changes for Collegians, the ins, Jim Bazzani, Corey Cassidy, Will Pockney and Caleb Franks. The outs, Tim Van Twest, Jack Meacham, AJ Mackay and Zach Bowles. So 4 changes for the Lions. We'll get to Steve Alessio and the Snow Dogs for his changes in just a few moments' time. Hugo Higginbotham, your reaction to the 4 ins for Collegians. They're good ins.
Very, very good ins.
We'll just get back to you because we've just had Steve Alessio join Raj Johnston on the boundary. Sorry to cut you off there.
Right.
Hugo, back down to Raj.
Thank you, Paddy. Thanks for your time, Steve. With the exception of that win against D-La, the results haven't quite gone your way in the last few weeks. How much would a win mean to you today with so much on the line?
Yeah, look, we've got a fantastic turnout here at St Bernard's today, so we've got some really great support. We really need to put our best foot forward because it's been one out of the last, I think, 4 or 5 that we've won. So, but we've been building, been training hard on the track. Let's hope we can just build some momentum early in the game and keep it rolling.
The Collegians likewise also have a lot to play for, plenty on the line for them. Do you expect this to be a hard-fought contest, and how did you prepare during the week?
Both teams, they're really, it means a lot. It's whoever wins today might just release a little bit of pressure with their sort of ladder positions. So Yeah, so I think it's going to end up being a really tough contest out there. I think it's going to be an exciting game to watch. And yeah, our preparation throughout the week has been great. So the boys are pumped. So let's, as I said before, let's hope we can start well and get some momentum rolling.
Just finally, any changes from last week's side?
Yeah, a few changes. Young Tom Sahl has come into the side for us. Small, exciting sort of forward. Dom Sullivan has come in as well off the half back line. He creates a fair bit for us. And Xavier Smith, one of our sort of hardened backmen, has come into the team as well. So a little bit of run, a little bit of excitement, a little bit of toughness into the team. So hopefully that works for us.
Well, Steve, all the best, and hope you don't get sunburnt. It's a great day for footy.
Enjoying the sunshine, actually. It's fantastic. Thanks.
Thanks. Back to you guys.
Great to hear from Steve Alessio, the coach of St Bernard's, who always gives us a heap on the SEN match of the day. So again, running back over those changes for St Bernard's, the in Xavier Smith, Tommy Sullivan, that's the one in number 8, the little Tommy Sullivan. The guy who's been around for such a long time and has won a score of best and fairest for this football club. He's also joined by Dom Sullivan, no relation, back from a cricket academy somewhere in Queensland, I was told by Steve Alessio during the week. The outs, Jezzerini, the other Tom Sullivan, the one in number 25, and Joey Agresta, who we saw play in the reserves just a few moments ago at the Snake Pit. Hugo Higginbotham, after I so unkindly cut you off on your thoughts on the Collegians changes, let's do both of them at once. We'll start again with Collegians.
Yes, with Collegians. So massive ins. Obviously, Frank's from release from VFL duties. That'll be huge for them, but some experience in there. Bazzani coming back. It's it's probably one of the best Collegian sides they put on the park this year, Paddy. A good blend of experience and youth, which they've been lacking recently.
Yeah, you look at Bazzani and Cassidy between them.
Yeah, Cassidy as well.
228 senior games that Collegians have just fed back into this senior squad, and you add that to Sam Hibbins and Kenny Yong, who have fed back in. Sam Hibbins after some elbow surgery after a really nasty injury earlier in the season. You don't have to go too far to hear all about the impact of the Hibbins family on Collegians. Kenny Yong also the Big V representative, 72 games for Sandringham VFL. Just about 10 years ago now, Kenny Yong, and he's been doing his thing in the number 21 jumper for the Lions for a very, very long time. Another one of those 2023 premiership players that Geordie McKenzie's been able to bring back into this squad. Caleb Franks is a really exciting one for me. The Queenslander, who was a bit of a journeyman back in the day and now applies his trade for the Northern Bull Ants. He's played 33 games there across the last couple of seasons, 15 of those in 2025, just his third game for Collegians. He's got 2 goals in across both his games. This year he played 1 game as well last year for the University Blacks while he was playing most of his VFL football for the Northern Bull Ants. He'll add a fair bit across half forward and he'll be in the number 50 today. Before we move on to St Bernard's, just a reminder that if you are listening to us from the Snake Pit today, or in fact anywhere really on the SEN app, you can actually tune in live using our SEN Stadium technology on the SEN app, available to download for iPhone and Android, and also it works with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. That means you'll be able to hear us truly live, no delay, no latency, and you'll be able to match the commentary with what's happening right in front of you, which is, in our case, Hugo Higginbotham. Not always a good thing when we're struggling to pick out who's who. Let's go through the St Bernard's changes. One bloke who doesn't come in today but came in a couple of weeks ago is Luca Alessio, who's taken 26 marks in 2 weeks. Now, after an extended bit of play for Port Melbourne, he'll add a lot to their half-back line, but we all know how good Tommy Sullivan is in the number 8. He's been so good for this club for such a long time.
Yes, really good plays there, but Matthew Soro as well in the ruck for Collegians. He's probably one of the best in the competition. You know, he's played 50-odd games now, 26 years of age, so he's in his absolute prime, and he'll give them first look at the ball. But that'll be a great matchup today, actually, him and Jonty McGuinness. You've got 2 really physical, aggressive players, so that will be an excellent one to watch. Matthew Watson down forward is always one we have to mention for Collegians. He's such a prodigious player, goal kicker, strong mark, big fellow too. So the smalls around him, like the young guy who came in a few weeks ago for Daniel Gillum.
Yes.
I know he's a very talented young small player. He's been kicking goals since he came into the side, so we'll watch him today. I imagine he will get around to the goals, which will be good. So it'll be. Look, I'm really hoping for a high-scoring game today.
Yeah.
It lends itself. You've got 2 sides who have to go all out because there's so much on the line. It's exciting. That's how good the VAFA is. The 2 up, 2 down. I love it.
Yeah, the ground is in really good nick, and to tell us a little bit more about that, Raj Johnston on the boundary for us. Raj, still sunny?
It still is sunny, and I'm hoping it stays that way. There's not going to be any rain. We can rule that out, but it's a sunny day, a cracking winter's day, Melbourne, Paddy.
Excellent. Hey, Raj, I'm watching you. You're not taking your eyes off the umpires today, are you? We had a little incident last week, didn't we? We hold the players accountable, but ourselves more accountable.
That's right. No, I did miss the toss last week. I put my hand up and admitted my fault there. Now, we already have had the toss today. I don't know if you guys saw that while they were out in the middle.
I saw it. I was watching you and the toss very closely indeed, Raj.
I had my eyes fixed on it. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe St Bernard's a 1 and a kick into the Buckley Street end, but then I did see the Collegians captain also pointing that way afterwards.
No, what's going on here?
Something to clear up there. I definitely saw the St Bernard's captain point to the Buckley Street end first, put it that way.
All right, so there could be some conjecture over the winning of the toss, which is always great for us. You said yourself, Hugo Higginbotham, you're a sucker for content on this broadcast.
I absolutely love it, but we just can't get this right, can we? Each week there's something now.
It's quite tricky.
All you've got to do is now call it the Twin Coss.
I think you're right, Raj. I reckon it is St Bernard's towards the Buckley Street end of St Bernard's College as they break from their huddles, unless we're going to see some defence stuff from Michael Caven, who's lining up right in front of us, just about on the St Bernard's logo here in the pavilion, which is where we're calling the action for you from on the SEN app and on the SEN website, and a few other games as well to mention before we sink our teeth properly into this one. Around top flight of the Ammo, the community TV game this week is Old Haileybury, which is in a little bit of a hole, taking on D-La Cell at Waverley Oval in East Malvern. D-La pushing the University Blacks last week and no doubt wanting to deal a bit of a blow to last year's Premier B premiers in a grand final rematch of Premier B. The Old Zavs take on Old Brighton on VAFA TV. That's a top of the table clash. That's going to be a ripper, live and free right now. You can watch that one at your leisure. And also on VAFA TV, the University Blues taking on Old Scotch in a relegation battle within itself. So it's a ripping round of footy right around the competition here in VAFA Top Flight. Our first quarter coming up for the Moonee Ponds Club, a long-time platinum sponsor of St Bernard's, the local friendly club on Mount Alexander Road that has great food and drinks. And that's where I'll be heading pretty much straight after the start of this one, Hugo Higginbotham, as we're just about away here at the Snake Pit at St Bernard's. To the right of your radio dial towards the Buckley Street end, and Collegians kicking towards the pavilion end, and it's going to be Collegians through Hibbins and Ong, the old firm, inside 50 to D'Amico at right half forward, 40 metres out. His kick was smothered off the boot. Hughes has got it all to do now for the Snow Dogs. Group tackle, D'Amico follows up. He's got Harrison Schumann on his shoulder, and St Bernard's went it through to Gwyn, and he'll go over the top. Wants Liberatore, might get the boundary line instead. Liberatore does pick up the footy and balances it to Marcus Holland. Centre wing, far side of the Snake Pit, and Watson on the third attempt takes the mark, Hugo.
Yes, Matthew Watson already. He's come high up the ground, but you can see how good a mark he is. That's a huge entry there. He's
a massive left footer, and you'll know it from his time back at Carlton, Matty Watson. He is the nephew of Steve Alessio, which is the connection here. Long time in, I think, for Pascoe Vale in the Eastern District Footy League. We'll have it thrown up 40 metres out from goal, left half forward for St Bernard's.
Oh, family connection, I like that.
Yeah, don't mind it.
Yeah, that's good. So that was a very, very high entry, which was easy to defend for the Collegians then.
Alessio's a spare man as this kick went off a Collegians boot towards the far side wing. Alessio with the footy kicks it back inside 50 for the Snowies. 3-on-1, though favouring Collegians after it was Luke Smith in his 100th game for the Lions, and they'll feed it across the half-back line. Thomas has got a problem. He's tackled and dispossessed. Harrison Fuller doing the job on him. It'll be thrown up in the side, the centre square, attacking side for St Bernard's.
Just noticed Jonty McGuinness lost the headband in that collision there before. So it was hair everywhere.
Is it coloured for Jonty today? It's usually a purple headband.
It's not the purple today, I noticed. It's more of a darker.
Okay, might have gone through in the wash. Delizio for St Bernard's inside 50. The kick dribbles into the pocket for Fergus McNichol. One on the hand pass to Watson. Couldn't find him. Liberatore after the ball. The boundary line beats him. Right forward pocket. Buckley Street end. We've gone 2 minutes in the first term. Thanks to the Moonee Ponds Club and Raj Johnston for Tobin Brothers Funerals on the boundary for us today. Hugo Higginbotham for Hit IQ, and we'll be keeping you abreast of all the scores and results across VAFA Top Flight over the course of the afternoon. VAFA.com.au is where you need to go if you want to find out what's going on around the competition. Gwyn from the restart. Had a fresh area just about in the handball at right half forward. Conlon picks it up. That kick hasn't travelled the required, I think, to the umpire. No, it did, into the hands of Pinchbeck, and he takes the mark. Centre half back and feeds it through. Kick into the centre of St Bernard's College. Oval is destined for Hughes. Lukic, though, beats him to the footy. Hughes held on for just a moment. The umpire lets them play. Overman's now on the scene for St Bernard's. Bends down a long way to Zach Overman. His brother Ben won the best and fairest at this club this year. He kicks it down the far side wing, and that's a mark to Conlon.
Just notice with Collegians then, they got that really good transition through the middle of the ground, but with their high-pressing game, they had nothing forward of the ball there. Left Lukic one out to try and run away with the ball.
Well, they're trying to switch it to Berardi, and Luke Smith applied the spoil, got it to Thomas, who put Berardi on his backside with a balk and dodge. Running bounce, handball to Campbell Walker, gets it back to Dylan Thomas. Another running bounce to the intersection of the 50 in the boundary line. A cutting kick for Lukic, maybe over his head towards Pockney. It dribbles off hands and through for a minor score. It's the first sign. Dylan Thomas, that's what we've come to expect for the Big V nominee, a bouncing running little play from him down the broadcast wing.
He's exciting, he's one to watch. He's just probably a little bit too overzealous with that kick in over Lucas's head.
So Hughes now with it at right half back for St Bernard's. One behind Collegians for the Moonee Ponds Club. St Bernard's yet to score. Hughes from right half back wants Soro down the line, opposed to McGuinness. That's an early win for the big man.
It is. But that was a beautiful execution, though, to his advantage. So if you're the player in front, the kick's to your advantage. Every time you should mark that.
45 hit-outs a game for Soro this year as he kicks towards half forward. 3 attempts at it. Yeah, good grab. That's Scott Bealby. Yeah. He's had a really good year for the Lions across half back, although the switching kick into the corridor by a teammate was no good. Intercepted by Delizio, back inside 50 for the Snow Dogs. About the fourth time they've gone in there. Davey involved in the pack with Perry of Collegians, and the ball trickles past the pack out of play. Right forward pocket for St Bernard's, Buckley Street end.
It's just the danger of that inside 45, Paddy. They're beautiful when they come off, but when they turn over, they come back with interest like we're seeing there.
So McGuinness 44 hit-outs a game, Matty Soro 45 hit-outs a game. So that's a really straightforward match-up on paper, isn't it? That'll be fun to watch all day. McNichols doing the ruck work against McGuinness, though. And Davey swings the handball. Pinchbeck, the tackling machine. Back to Jasper Davey through left half-back. And Collegians repel borders once more. Soro, that's a punt return. Just about bounced off his box. It bounced off Matty Soro's face. It's all well that ends well. Tom Sullivan's got a problem. Got a foot to the footy and kicks it out of bounds on the full as he was tackled. Matty Soro, I don't know if we need a concussion test for hit IQ, but
I don't know what happened there, but it just came down. The hands were out wide and it just came down perfectly on the head.
Thomas scoreboard wing, kicks to a 4-on-1. Lukic did so well to get hands to the footy. Pinchbeck through the brace. Has a snap and misses.
Well, that was exciting. Lukic was a 1-on-4 there, which is concerning. The Collegians are pressing really high and they just aren't getting back to support when they get those entries.
Yeah, spot on for hit IQ, Hugo Higginbotham. 2 behinds plays nothing. Collegians with a slender lead for the Moonee Ponds Club in the first term.
Oh, good mark.
Good mark. Dom Sullivan takes it for St Bernard's between right half back and the wing. That's a dangerous kick into the corridor, but it had enough punch to get through to Luke Delizio, who puts it on the bounce towards the arc of 50. Fergus McNichols slaps it on. Franks, though, should track it down for Collegians through half back, and the Northern Bull Ant was composed and found Jasper Davey.
Just an awkward execution there. He just kicked it out the front of McNichol, and McNichol did not have any chance with that whatsoever.
End-to-end stuff. There's Luca Alessio, big intercept grab, and then puts it into the corridor. So you can really tell, Hugo, that both clubs are trying to use the middle of the ground as much as they can.
Yep, but Collegians pressing really high, and they're turning over at half forward. And Alessio's going to have a field day out there if they keep kicking to him like that.
Xavier Smith took the mark in the middle of the ground and then spreads it wide to Harrison Schumann. Brilliant sunshine. Far wing, back to Luca Alessio, as we mentioned. He's taken a ridiculous amount of marks in the last couple of weeks. 26 in the last fortnight. The kick was long inside 50. Bazzani's there for Collegians. A handball to a player under pressure. Yep. He's thrown up, left half forward. Still no goal. We've played 6.5 minutes here for the Moonee Ponds Club at St Bernard's College Oval. It's 2 behinds Collegians. St Bernard's yet to score, but with all the territory early, McGuinness and Watson, it's going to go to Bazzani, to Hibbins, the old firm as we mentioned with Ong. The handball took a wicked bounce and it might be a free kick given away by Warren as Holland went after the footy. He threw the hands out, didn't he, Marcus Holland?
He certainly did. That was good forward line pressure there, though. Now, if we're looking at the setup here, Paddy, I'm looking at 5 St Bernard's players inside the centre square, no Collegians with them. So every Collegians player is around the ball. I think they're overloading the contest a little bit here. I know they want to play that defensive game, but you've got to have outlets. So that would be one we'll keep an eye on.
Yeah, so Holland has a kick of about 35 metres. He's at left half forward and he likes kicking set shots at this ground after the winner over D-Lower a couple of weeks ago. On the approach now, keeps the right-footed drop punt low and drills it. And the gentleman behind the goal, who we saw a couple of weeks ago at this venue, who will not chase the ball for love nor money.
Does not move, that gentleman. He sits up front and centre of the goals. I fear for his safety sometimes, but he's the most stagnant person I've ever seen. And he's still sitting there now. I hope he doesn't get sunburnt today. I want to send Raj around there one day. I want to find what's the story with this bloke? What goes on in his life?
It's a bit of homework for Raj Johnston. Around the grounds for Tobin Brothers funerals. I just heard from the Dealer Old Haileybury game that Andreas Stefanakis took all of 10 seconds to kick the first goal of the day for the Bloods. We'll get down to Raj in just a few moments' time with if there's a story from the kickoffs around the top flight as Xavier Smith from the restart is collared in the middle of the ground and a ball up will be called. Let's go down to Raj. Just briefly, if you've got any early signs for us, Raji?
I do. The old Zavs 1-1-7 lead Old Brighton yet to score. The old Scotch 2 behind to the Uni Boys 1 behind.
Thanks, Raj. So things just getting underway across the competition. Head to VAFA.com.au for all the live scores and some live coverage as well. As Overman ties up Lukic at centre-half forward for Collegians.
Just noticed Johnny McGuinness has won the last 3 tap-outs in the middle for Collegians, which is good for them, good signs.
Yeah, he's having a spell right now. Soro in against Lukic. Soro's on his backside trying to find this footy after receiving a football to the face to start this game.
Yes.
And happy to continue, the big man.
Anyway, it's a long game. He can get over that.
He's a big Carlton supporter as well, Matty Soro, so it's tough sledding at the moment for the big number 17, though he's battling manfully on the inside with Harrison Schumann. Creates another stoppage. So we're just dribbling around centre-half forward right now for Collegians. Beautiful day for footy. Not a cloud in the sky, not a breath of wind here at St Bernard's College. It's the Snow Dogs 1 straight 6 leading Collegians 2 behinds for the Moonee Ponds Club at the 9-minute mark as once again stoppage on the arc of 50. Getting a good look at the setups of both squads. More on that in a moment from Hugo for hit IQ. Ong in the Hibbins direction. Alessio behind him. Could have taken the mark. Opted for the spoil. Hughes, the skipper, first to it. Across the face of goal. Not without some danger to Dom Sullivan, though. The talented cricketer takes the grab and then kicks towards centre-half back. That's an even more dangerous kick. Delizio on the back of Franks. Mark of the day contender for Care Plus Auto Services. Pulls it down and had to, and the other out. Yeah, you're right, Hugo. Hughes, not a great kick to Watson, who skipped in front of him. Now has to track it down. Was pushed by Warren. A couple of free kicks given away by Big Matty Warren.
This entry is key now for St Bernard's, and he's gone long again, long and deep.
Yeah, top of the square stuff from Watson. McNichol across the front, nearly brought it down. Tackling there is Oakley Kerr, flinging out the handball. Conlon tracking it towards the goal line, rushed across there by Oakley Kerr, it looked like, and into the goal post for a behind. 7 plays 2 for the Moonee Ponds Club, 10.5 gone first term. Anything you're noticing from the setups apart from their central nature, Hugo Higginbotham, for IQ?
Well, Collegians are still persisting with that really heavy press up the ground, and they're overloading the contest a little bit as well. But they found the space here.
Yeah, Ong at centre-half back, uncontested. Was allowed a hole through Gillum, and then the kick into the corridor mark was dropped, though, by his teammate. So Delizio will go again. Looked like Smith dropping the mark. No worries, though, as Ong comes through. Dodges the tackle of Dom Sullivan, drops it on his boot. Kicks it towards centre-half forward. Alessio runs into his teammate in Caven. Still going as looker Alessio. Back to Tongi, who had an attack of the fumbles and an inopportune moment. Got it quickly to Smith. Tackled off his kick. The pressure came from behind by Jimmy Archer. And now the kick to the top of the square for Lukic. John Overman's got it. So Alex Lukic for goal number 35 on the season. He's 4th in the goal kicking. Andreas Stefanakis leading all comers this year. And you can put your glasses down at the top of the square. He pops through Collegians first of the afternoon. 1-2-8 for the Moonee Ponds Club. Leads 1-1-7. Collegians by a point, 11.5 gone.
Well, that was just really good forward defensive pressure by Collegians then, because St Bernard's got that intercept through Alessio and they just couldn't find a way out there. So that was a really good team goal, and you expect to see a lot of that because you know how good Collegians are with their pressure and around the contest. But that was a really good entry as well. I don't think he was having a shot there. I think that was deliberately for Lukic, and it was just perfect execution. Very hard to defend those ones.
Yeah, he had the back position on Overman.
Guarded the space and just did a great job there.
Yeah, so Zach Overman, it's his second game back, I think, from overseas, and he had Will Lewis last week for Old Brighton, who kicked 8, so it's a tough start, and then he gets Alex Lukic, so he knows he's alive, Zach Overman. Free kick in the middle of the ground from the restart. Yep, Ethan Schumann, I think, has the footy. Yes, so he'll kick it deep inside 50. Watson is in the one-on-one. 3 Collegians defenders get across to him. He still only pulled it down, did Matty Watson. Soro will tie up Smith. So a stoppage inside 50. Free-flowing stuff to start.
It is. It's good. It's what we like to see, especially the day lends itself for us, and we want to see that in footy.
McGuinness and Soro resume their battle. It's going to be hacked out by Franks of Collegians. D'Amico front spot. Did a reasonable enough job. The ball was taken, though, by Angus Ryan. Kick back inside 50. It skipped the pack. Bealby. Handball into a dangerous position again. Liberatore's going hard. Watson's going hard. The umpire's drifting and will call for the football. It's
a hot pill down there. But that was a good intercept and a good entry there. So they're looking good, the Dogs, at the moment.
Yeah, plenty of inside 50s, just the one goal. Watson holds off McGuinness, who came over the top anyway. In one motion, like Liberatore snapped it and went 15 metres up and 2 metres sideways. Tapped by Pinchbeck. Bealby tackled off his kick. Still they'll roll. Like Smith handballing through.
There's a lot of hot handballs out there.
Yeah, Davey tied up in another stoppage. Left forward pocket still, 15 metres out from the Snow Dogs goal.
So just noticing again that there's four spare Snow Dogs behind the ball here. So a lot of Collegians around it.
Tap went straight into the hands of Gillum. That's a snap, and he's got it! And you flagged him pre-game, yes. Hugo Higginbotham, for hit IQ. Daniel Gillum, the 19-year-old out of the Western Jets, who's been so impressive since he's made his senior debut a couple of weeks ago. That's goal number 3 for his senior VAFA career, and it was a one-motion left-foot snap. It was classy stuff.
But if you look where the kid's set up, front and centre, generally when there's a lot of high balls or balls coming down like that, they're not marked, they will come front and centre and just a perfect left-foot execution. And he's going to get a lot of opportunities today with Watson and McNichol down there, because those two blokes generally won't get out-marked. They're big, strong boys, so the ball will be on the ground. So that's a very good start.
So we are 14 minutes down for the Moonee Ponds Club. It's St Bernard's 13, leading Collegians 8. At the St Bernard's College Oval, Bealby at centre-half back, intercepting mark. D'Amico. Might have been Putris, actually, in the long sleeves. Goes towards Hibbins at left-half forward. The handball inside to Pisani. Sits it up. Thomas or Lukic. Neither went for the footy. It's pulled down instead there by Fuller and Harrison. Fuller, dangerous kick to Hughes, who had on just giving him a rib tickler on the way through, and Mitch Hughes grimaces but holds onto the footy.
Yeah, it says thanks very much for that loopy kick. You got me killed.
Yeah, loopy kick of his own. Mitch Hughes, who is doubled over in back play. Set a job for Smith, who might be in trouble here. Thomas pulls him off his kick, holding the footy. Advantage taken. The kick inside 50 is a beauty. Marks taken by Jimmy Archer. Got it from Will Putris. And he'll go back from left half forward, 40 metres out, 45-degree angle. Mitch Hughes down. Yeah, Hugo.
Still, I just noticed, I think he's got a little bit of a rib issue there. He's holding the stomach. That was a really strong hit by Ong. And that's just the danger.
50. I don't think Xavier Smith was quite aware what was going on.
Oh, no.
As Archer went back to take his kick, he just stood in the protected zone. And Jimmy Archer flung the arms out, and the umpire said, yep, that's 50. Yeah. So it's 2 goals from the top of the goal square for Collegians. And they'll all get to Jimmy Archer. It's his first goal in senior VAFA footy.
That's a very frustrating one for Steve Alessio there, because that was a hard kick. He was probably going to be kicking from about 45 metres on a 45-degree angle, and it's not an easy kick, and then you just get put to the top of the square. So that was disappointing by the Dogs there. But anyway, it's a long game, and you've got to move on from those. I'm glad I'm out of coaching, Paddy, sometimes when you see those. It's just, why would you do that? Everyone knows the rules.
So Archer out of Wesley College in South Melbourne. A nice moment for him. Raj Johnston is on the boundary for us for Tobin Brothers Funerals. Mitch Hughes just got a little rib tickler a few moments ago. Raj, how is he?
Just waiting for an update on that, but yeah, it didn't look too good. We'll keep an eye.
Yeah, so he is staying out there for now. Looks to have hopefully shaken it off, but it is feeling for his ribs after Kenny Ong, again, just introducing himself.
All fair it was.
14-13. Collegians lead it by a point. They're 16.5 down for the Moonee Ponds Club in this first term. At the snake pit, Barati's into the midfield for St Bernard's. But Ong again. Handball to Bazzani. He's got some space to make the kick inside 50. Lukic in a 1-on-1. Overman's with Lukic, too good!
2 on 1. Well, is that going to be telling, Paddy? Ong to Bazzani. You know, Ong knew Bazzani was there as well. He handball behind himself out to a lateral space, and Bazzani had all the space in the world. Excellent kick.
Had Overman initially, and then Hughes coming across the front, but nothing could stop Alex Lukic, who's looking dangerous. He's in the right forward pocket. He's 15 metres out, but he has a brutal angle to contend with. As our man Simon Petch would say, Hugo, a little bit of daylight between the posts. But
plenty of
Lukic,
daylight.
He's going to try for the goal. He's going to kick it to Ong at the top of the square, who drifted in. That's not traditional full forward craft from Alex Lukic. If you get a shot at goal, you usually take them, but Kenny Ong in a better position takes the mark, and he'll have a shot from 12 metres out, pretty much directly in front.
Well, that is team play, isn't it? Because he had every right to have a shot on goal there, as a big full forward should, but just Ong in the smart position, and it was a beautiful kick too, because that got through 2 Snow Dogs. So well done.
Ripping game of footy so far at the Snake Pit. Here's Kenny Ong on approach. Shouldn't be any issues with this. He puts it to the left-hand side. Ooh. Or right-hand side, I think. That's surprising for Kenny Ong.
It is. Jeez.
One behind. Collegians
should have had a shot.
Yeah, true. So Collegians move to 2-3-15. They lead St Bernard's 2-1-13. 18 minutes gone for the Moonee Ponds Club.
I think we've lost the footy.
Yeah.
No.
He certainly kicked through it, didn't he, Kenny Ong? And
yeah, he did.
Mitch Hughes has recovered from the rib tickler. From Ong goes long beyond left half back. Alessio's in the pack with Gwyn or Whistle. Free kick going the way of the Snow Dogs, and Ethan Schumann.
So we'll just look for...
Oh, no, Daniel Gillum, sorry.
Yeah, Gillum. He gets up the ground too,
He
doesn't he?
does. Got the right shoulder strapped to Berardi by hand, who kicks it beyond halfway down that far side wing. Conlon. He's got Davey for company. The umpire will throw it up. So Alex Lukic. It does seem that Zach Overman is the right matchup as far as height is concerned, but you can really see the sticky mitts early, Hugo.
Yeah, no, he's in form at the moment, Big Luch. So that's a good start for the boy as well.
So here go the Snow Dogs. It's an up and under from McNichol inside 50. 2-on-1. Watson from behind. Brought it down to the front. Smith spins into the tackle of Watson. He's happy to take it. Stoppage inside 50 again for the Snow Dogs. Approaching the 20-minute mark of the first term for the Moonee Ponds Club. It's Collegians by 2 points. Goals through Archer and Lukic so far for the Lions. Gillum and Holland, the goal kickers for St Bernard's, as we're back underway inside 50. And here's a chance from half forward. Ryan's kick was touched off the boot, so it'll be intercepted by the Collegians defence, which was set. Now the kick for Archer, exiting scoreboard wing, is a little bit too hot, and it rolls out of play between the benches.
Just noticed with that entry before that there was a 2-on-1 on Watson, but he still didn't get it marked. But he's going to have to expect that all day, I would imagine.
Yeah, it's him and McNichol up front today. So McNichol's doing the relief ruck work for the most part when Soro's having a spell. 2 very mature bodies. Watson, of course, the former AFL player for Carlton at age 33. McNichol, the 31-year-old, who's got the footy and kicks it towards right half forward. The pressure's pretty hot here from the Snowies half forwards. No, Putris had the footy, barrelled it. Lukic didn't know where it was for a moment, the big fella. Now taps along the boundary line at half forward. Will be happy for a stoppage. I think Alex Lukic, and gets it.
That was very close to still being in. That was lucky, very, very lucky for Overman there, because he would have been out.
Yeah, I thought he would probably be happy for the stoppage, Lukic, but he is agile for a bigger fella.
Oh, very much so. Very much so.
So that's a battle all day. Lukic with one already. McNichol up against Putris in the ruck. Ethan Schumann was tackled by Putris. Campbell Walker's after it for Collegians. Picks up the footy. Feeds it backwards. Cassidy inside 50. Bazzani lost it in the sun, I suspect. It went over his head and on for Harrison Schumann, who's got a bouncing ball to pick up. Luca Alessio comes up for handball relief. Hangs up the kick just a little bit. Bealby on the scene. Made the spoil. Parati hits the footy hard. Handball's through, and now the Snow Dogs are out. The handball from Gillum was good. To the outside, the kick comes inside 50. Van Twest back with the flight. Dribbles on. Tommy Sullivan and Davey after it. Jasper Davey on hands and knees. Fighting desperately to try and hold this footy up, and does.
They've done well, Collegians there, just to hold that up, because they were out, the Dogs.
Might be up to double digits just about, I suspect, for inside 50 stoppages for St Bernard's, which is a good sign for their half forwards. The likes of Tommy Sullivan, who's lurking at the bootlaces of Matty Watson, picks up and kicks in one motion, kicks it out of bounds on the full. In the left forward pocket, so Collegians get the footy back through Bazzani here.
Yeah, it's definitely good forward pressure from those smaller Snow Dogs, which is, you want that. You definitely want that. But you want to try to capitalise on that as well. I mean, there were still only 2 goals. And that bloke did not move behind the goals again, even though he by the footy. So we'll keep an eye on that one.
I just wonder if he's maybe over-participated in the luncheon behind us before it really got started. Here's Alessio pulled down tackle from behind. Holding the footy, the call. Free kick to Kenny Ong, who's had himself a first quarter. Done just about everything right except kick the goal from directly in front, 15 metres out. And as I say that kick didn't look like it was going to carry over the top. Tongi got a hand to it. Oakley Kerr's got it out the back. Turns one way to the other. Lukic again. Surely not!
Oh, strong. How strong was that?
He's marking everything, Alex Lukic. We did see Tom Hawkins playing in the thirds earlier this morning.
What about that?
I reckon Lukic has taken some inspiration for the number 26, formerly for the Geelong Cats, and today for the Old Melburnians. He's going to have another shot at goal. This is his third set shot, if you count the one which he passed off eventually to Kenny Ong.
Which he shouldn't have.
Well, he was proved wrong, wasn't he, at the end? He's 45 metres out, pretty much directly in front, and there is no wind to speak of here at St Bernard's College today. So Lukic for goal number 36 on the season, taking his time on the approach for goal number 2 of the first quarter. Collegians lead it by 2 points currently at the 23-minute mark, and Lukic is a protagonist as far as today's game is concerned. His kicking, though, might need a little bit of amending. He's missed to the left-hand side. So 16 plays 13 for the Moonee Ponds Club. 23 minutes down on this first term. Paddy Grindlay, Hugo Higginbotham and Raj Johnston here at the Snake Pit today. We'll catch up with Raj in just a moment's time for Around the Grounds as Dom Sullivan takes the kick in for St Bernard's, kicks it towards McNichol, who's got 2 lines to fight with. Franks over the footy. Ball up the call. Raj, how are we doing around the grounds for Tobin Brothers Funerals?
Paddy, Old Haileybury 3 straight 18 lead Dealer 1-3-9. St Kevin's 4-1-25 lead the Blacks 3 straight 18. We've got a top 2 clash at Brighton where Old Zavs lead 3-3-21 to Old Brighton 2 straight 12. And Old Scotch 2-3-15 to the Uni Blues 4 behinds. Comprehensive.
Thanks, Raj Johnston, for Tobin Brothers Funerals. Hibbins takes the ball from the restart at the far wing, kicks it inside 50 for Collegians. Pinchbeck with the footy, got it loose, had a shot there to Putris from centre half forward. He's missed to the left-hand side. They're peppering. 2-5-17 plays 2-1-13 for the Moonee Ponds Club. 24 minutes gone first term. Dom Sullivan again the kick in, and that's a better option he's found on this occasion. Through left half back go the Snow Dogs, and Gillum. He's had a good start. A goal already out of the pack. Gwynn lost control of the footy. Walker ripped it off him. D'Amico, Berardi involved, big tackle. Or Bealby rather.
I think it was all of them.
Yeah, both of them were involved. Flashing around the footy. So neutral territory. Aberfeldy side wing, or the car park wing here at St Bernard's College. Ball thrown in the air. Collegians lead at this one by under a kick, and once again we're going nowhere with Franks doing the tackling this time.
Aberfeldy.
That's roughly the Aberfeldy direction.
Is it? Yeah, okay.
And I hope so.
Yeah, it is now.
I only lived here for 4 years, so hopefully I know my geography by now. As Walker, left foot kick towards half forward. Putris tackled by a couple of Snow Dogs. Let loose the footy. The umpire called them to play. Kick inside 50. Archer will track the footy. He's got some space if he picks up Jimmy Archer. Does a 180. Kicks around the body. He was a little bit too hot. Trying to wade through, and with great effect.
He Steve roped him.
He went through 2 tackles, but the third one, not so. And you don't want to be tackled by Max Pinchbeck if you're Angus Ryan.
He ended up with his shorts around his ankles there. He's wearing the green Speedos with some form of branding on the back, I noticed. He was very quick to pull the pants back up too, which is good. That was, you tackled then, I suppose.
No, the Moonee Ponds Club did. Budgie Smugglers?
Yeah, I think they do.
Regardless, it's going to be Pinchbeck, so he's slight angle to left half forward, a kick of 30 metres, so this has been the problem so far for Collegians. 7 scoring shots for 2 goals. And they should have a few more on the board by this stage. Pinchbeck's only kicked 4 on the season. 12.5 tackles a game for the machine. Out of the Lions, that's a good drop.
Got that.
Oh, well, how's the roar as well?
The double cobra. That's amazing, you love that.
He gives it a bit, does Max Pinchbeck, and 23 plays 13, 10-point lead for the visitors. 26.5 gone first term for the Moonee Ponds Club.
They've done well there. Collegian was an amazing rundown tackle. They provided a bit of content for us, and great for Pinchbeck to get on the board too. So very good execution there. I just noticed Lukic has just come from the bench now, so they were playing a bit of a smaller forward line there, Collegians, just with Luch having a bit of a rest.
So back in the middle, McGuinness, Walker, Thomas on the bounce at centre half forward, bounced off his foot, Franks one way then the other, back inside 50, Hibbins and Hughes, hold, who's the free kick going to? It's going to Mitch Hughes.
Well, that could have gone either way there. They were both holding there, so that was lucky for the Dogs.
Clash of the Titans, clash of the number 7s. And Hughes' kick hangs in the air a little bit. Ong cuts down his opponent in Gwynn illegally, said the umpire, chopping of the arm. So young Dylan Gwynn, first senior year of footy for Dylan Gwynn, the 20-year-old. And the Essendon Stars. Went to school here at St Bernard's. Kicks it down the far wing. Watson wants Berardi by hand. Putris is on his case. Back goes Holland. Fends off the tackler. Got away from Warren and then kicked it straight to Van Twest, who dropped the mark down his front like I did with the mustard earlier in the pre-game. Hibbins at centre-half forward's the target of the kick. He marks. Caven came late. Hibbins is unperturbed. Goes inside. 50. Good kick. Oh, just off hands. Couldn't bring it down. Could Will Pockney. And Hughes brings it away for St Bernard's. Goes into full-back. And Fuller, who's got to kick it now, and does, to Tongi.
He's got nothing up the ground here, though.
So 28 minutes, 10 points to lead for Collegians for the Moonee Ponds Club, and that's not a great moment there for Gwynn, who had an uncontested mark, dropped it, and it's out of play right in front of our boundary rider, Raj Johnston, between wing and half forward here for Collegians. 8 scoring shots to 3. They lead it by 10 points for the Moonee Ponds Club, and they've had the last 15 minutes or so, Hugo, for Hit IQ on their terms. Yeah, they have, and that's another win for them as well, because they've got this stoppage on half forward. Jonty's been good in the ruck today. He's winning most of them. He has, and he's had Ong at his bootlaces, who's fought so hard. Coming through Franks. The handball for Thomas. Gwynn picks it off. Balances the handball. Caven to Berardi, under pressure straight away.
Massive pressure.
Berardi did well. Came through left-handed handball this time to Hughes on the numbers of 50. Hangs the kick for Ryan to run onto. Takes it on the bounce. Kicks it along the boundary line. Conlon might get it on the bounce here. Tommy Sullivan's there, the handball, who was seeking out Liberatore, found Warren, who stepped inside Liberatore, then kicked it down the car park wing. Harrison Schumann imposes himself, though, on Pockney. Hughes, the clean-up man, wants Gillum down the line. Davey with the big spoil. Still they roll. It's kick to kick down the far side wing. Again, now Pockney the target. Early bodywork was good, couldn't hold on. Has Hibbins for company, and off the shoe, I think, there of Caven, and out of bounds on the full.
Just getting worse for the Dogs.
So we're now 29 and a half gone. Hibbins inside 50. Lukic got it again.
That was strong. One grabbers.
It's 4 marks inside 50 for Alex Lukic this quarter. He's putting on a clinic, Hugo.
He is. He's lost the boot too at the moment. So, but he's that strong in the mark there. One grabs. I love those. So Lukic has one. He missed another set shot and he gave another off. He's got no option here because the siren's gone. So this quarter's run just a tick under 30 minutes, and at the moment it's a 10-point lead for Collegians, who after a goal-for-goal opening 15 minutes have really wrested control of this game. This will be for 3 goals in a row for the Lions, and for Alex Lukic's second of the season, right forward pocket. 35-metre drop punt. He's a right footer, so it's a really tricky proposition for Alex Lukic, who starts it well right, and in fact he's lucky to score in the end. So another behind for Collegians, 3-6-24. They lead St Bernard's 2-1-13, 11-point leaders after a 29.5-minute first term. The goal kickers for the Lions, Lukic, Archer and Pinchbeck, all singles. Gillum and Holland for St Bernard's with 1 apiece. 11 points the margin. Here at the Snake Pit on the other side of this, we'll hear from Geordie McKenzie, the coach of Collegians, inside his huddle. That's coming up next on the VAFA SEN William Buck Match of the Day.
Hey guys, at GYG we never compromise on the quality of our food. That's why we only serve 100% free-range chicken. We're on a mission to reinvent fast food, because who said fast food had to be bad food? Love ya.
Is your club celebrating a player milestone? Let us know at VAFA Media and we'll feature it in the Amateur Footballer. We're always on the lookout for stories that acknowledge outstanding achievements and the clubs behind them. Email us at media@vafa.com.au.
Tickets are now on sale for one of the signature events on the VAFA calendar, the 2025 William Buck VAFA Finals Luncheon, held on Friday, September 5 at Zinc Fed Square. Join us as we celebrate the road to the VAFA and AFL Finals with 5-time Premiership player Dermot Brereton and 2-time Brownlow medalist Greg Diesel Williams. Secure your tickets today at vafa.com.au.
Are you looking to grow your business? William Buck are more than just accountants and advisors who can develop strategic growth plans for your business. With over 125 years' experience, William Buck has expertise in navigating through challenging times and has been working closely with the VAFA community, creating positive change for individuals, businesses and community organisations. William Buck's team of specialist advisors work collaboratively, providing you with 360 support. Schedule a complimentary consultation today by visiting williambuck.com. Would you like to get more closely involved with footy and enjoy the unique camaraderie and bonds that exist in and around footy clubs? VAFA clubs are always looking for volunteers to assist with the weekly running of the club, both on and off the field. Log on to vafa.com.au and check out our club directory to find a club near you.
Listen in to the award-winning VAFA William Buck Premier Men's SEN Match of the Day this Saturday afternoon on SEN's new no-delay streaming product, SEN Stadium. That's VAFA Footy, live with no delay, Saturday from 1:45pm. Listen via the app.
Quarter time at the Snake Pit at St Bernard's, 2-1-13, trailing Collegians 3-6-24. The goal kickers for Collegians, Lukic, Archer and Pinchbeck. For St Bernard's, Holland and Gillum. It's Collegians with the last 2 goals of the game, but their kicking in front of goal has been poor. 9 scoring shots to 3, but the lead is just 11 points. Paddy Grindlay, Hugo Higginbotham and Raj Johnston on the call for you today from St Bernard's College Oval. Hugo Higginbotham for Hit IQ. It did feel like St Bernard's had the play in the first 15 minutes or so, but once Collegians were able to get their overlap game up and going and find Alex Lukic often at the top of the goal square, it turned their way pretty quickly.
Yeah, it was run and carry through the middle of the ground, I think it was, Paddy. But, Ong's having a great game. But Lukic, he's marking everything. They've been probably more accurate with their entries to the advantage of Lukic, whereas I just felt the Snow Dogs, all their entries were long, high bombs. So that's probably the difference between the two, because the Snow Dogs had enough entries, they just couldn't capitalise when it was down there. So we'll see if they can arrest that this quarter.
Yeah, lots of stoppages inside 50 for the Snow Dogs, but not much execution. Let's go inside the huddle for Collegians. The next voice you're going to hear is Geordie McKenzie, the coach of Collegians.
Mate, hard, tough. Okay, when we needed a bit of hardness around the ball, you gave it to us. And frankly, it's the best quarter of footy you play for us, mate. Terrific. Really, only going to get better as that game goes on. Let's have a quick look here. This is the big one I want to talk about, Oppo marks. 12 in the first 7 minutes. Okay, so just bring it tight. Our transition at the start was just a bit ordinary, okay? And they're a good enough side. They will just go kick mark. Any team in this competition will do it, okay? So that's a big area. Only 7 after that. And on the back of that, we play forward half footy, okay? So taking the outlet out, in particular, when they're trying to exit the 50. Now, often that's from kickouts, okay? I reckon we can be a bit more scungy on the Oppo mark, in particular on kickouts. I want to hear a bit more voice. I want to hear a bit more intent to turn that ball over quicker. Okay, as the quarter went on, we did it. It got better in that area. But early on, it was coming out of their 50. And from 12 inside 50s that we had, 8 of theirs went inside their 50. That's not our brand. We don't play slingshot footy. Fuck that. That's not our brand. That's probably how they want to play. If they want to try and play that game, great. We are not going to accept that brand of footy. Okay, we get in our forward half, and it does not fucking leave our forward half. Okay, I'll tell you what's working. Contested footy, clean hands. Are you feeling that out there?
Yeah.
Chain. We're getting some really good looks. I reckon we're getting a good lead up coming straight at the ball as well. Okay, let's keep doing that. It makes this big ground a bit smaller. Then we get deeper, and we're starting to look really dangerous forward. Lukic, DT, great block. Pewey's giving us that hit up in that connection piece. So we're getting some really good looks. Let's keep being scungy here, because that will allow the forward half footy, and then we keep the hammer on the fucking throat. Okay, we keep the hammer on the throat.
The voice of Geordie McKenzie, coach of Collegians. Apologies for some of the language that may have slipped through there. Pretty thorough assessment, I'd say, of that first term. The start not great, allowing a little bit too much uncontested marks. Once they were able to play front half footy, Collegians, they got the game on their term. Let's go back down for the Moonee Ponds Club to Raj Johnston. He's got the coach of Collegians, Geordie McKenzie, beside him.
Thank you, Paddy. Geordie, you've got the lead at quarter time. Certainly had lots of opportunities in that first quarter. You said your contested game was good. Seemed like there were times where the defensive pressure created some opportunities. So how did you read that first quarter?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, look, we probably left a couple out there, and Bernard's probably saying the same thing, to be honest. They had some really good looks, and at times we got a little bit lucky with whether it's a missed kick or a fumble. So maybe the scoreboard doesn't tell the full story. I thought we started a bit slow. Really happy with that last 10 minutes where we were able to lock the ball in our forward half and generate some good scores. So we reset, we go again. Bernard's a good side. They'll keep coming.
All the best. Thank you.
Ta.
Thanks to Raj Johnston and to Geordie McKenzie. While we've got you, Raj, might get you to check in for Tobin Brothers funerals around the competition in just a few moments' time. I'll let you get your phone into place, though, before I throw back down to you. Hugo, your instant reaction to Geordie there?
Yeah, got a good eye for the game. The key thing that I found was that when they got pressure on the opposition on St Bernard's, that's when those turnovers happened, and it was that was a good adjustment after those first 7 minutes where they were just giving the ball away way too easy.
Raj, around the grounds for Tobin Brothers funerals?
Yeah, some quarter-time scores, Paddy. The old Zavs by 2 points, 21-19. Old Scotch 3-3-21 to the Uni Blues 1-7-13. So they've managed to finally get a goal at the end of that quarter. Old Haileybury 3-18 to D-Lar 2-3-15. And St Kevin's 4-2-26 to lead the Uni Blacks 3-2-20.
Wonderful stuff, Raj Johnston for Tobin Brothers Funerals around the grounds. For funeral needs, contact past player Hugh Tobin at Tobin Brothers. Our second term coming up now for Nelson Alexander, and we're away and running in the centre of the Snake Pit. Liberatore came a long way up to meet the footy inside the centre square. Smith's got it for Collegians. They fire out the handball through Pinchbeck to Van Twest. Nice kick up the line, and they're moving it through by a hand. Thomas is involved. Franks runs to 55 metres.
He's had a go.
He's had a go at the big sticks, and he's not finished that one superbly. Caleb Franks, he misses everything. But you can see the handball chain up that Geordie McKenzie wants to talk about.
Yeah, excellent through that. Excellent through the middle of the ground there. But Campbell Walker was in the square there, and he was just on his own screaming for the ball. So not the greatest execution.
Hughes long down the line for the Snow Dogs. Dom Sullivan and Luca Alessio there initially. Liberatore takes the footy and kicks it high towards us. Past halfway, the fist from Canny was good for the Lions, and out of play. Attacking side of the wing now for the Snowies. 24 plays 13, first minute of this second term. Thanks to Nelson Alexander. If you're thinking of buying or selling, you can contact John McKenna at Nelson Alexander, and he'll help you out. Our special comments today, Hugo Higginbotham for Hit IQ, and its game-changing Protect Concussion Management System. Use the code VAFA50 to get $50 off at hitiq.com. That's HITIQ.com, VAFA50, as we're back underway between wing and half forward. For St Bernard's and Pinchbeck. He could have rushed it over the line, I suppose, and had it thrown in. Instead, he's kicked it out of bounds on the full. I think he might have been just over the line, actually, as he kicked. So the boundary umpire has decided to throw this one back in. So back where we started, in front of the St Bernard's bench.
Yeah, that's a win for them. That's a win. But watching this ruck battle at the moment, Jonty's probably had the better of Matty Soro at the moment. So just keeping an eye on that one.
And the young man who is out of Sale and not Mafra. Make that very explicit. Holland through half forward, inching kick of 12 metres. Gets it inside 50. Tongi takes it. Stops and drops. Watson one-on-one. Might be too strong. It slipped through his fingers. He did all the body work. Goes at ground level against Bazzani. Davey crashes in. Ties the footy up top of the goal square for St Bernard's.
Very surprising you see Matthew Watson not take one of those. It was really good defensive work there. So they've done well, their Collegians.
He's going up against McGuinness in the ruck. Takes it out of the ruck. McGuinness tackles him and brings him down ever so slowly. In the end, Watson handballed it out. It was taken, though, by the 100-gamer Luke Smith, who clears his own momentarily. Ryan tracks it down for the Snow Dogs. The block there from Overman on Pinchbeck was good. Bealby fists the entry kick from Ryan out of bounds just beneath us. Left forward pocket for St Bernard's, and again, they're controlling territory to start the quarter.
They are. They've got a very good press up the ground, Collegians, which is making it hard for the Snow Dogs on those entries, and their entries are just way too high. And that entry then to Holland as well. He's the smallest man on the ground. It was above his head. Made it easy for the defenders.
McNichol and McGuinness. Whistle on the play for a hold. Going the way of the Snow Dogs. McNichol's going to have a shot.
Umpire explaining it to Jonty there, and Jonty just having nothing of the umpire either. He just walked straight past him and said, mate, I don't give us.
He's dead set. He's called, I think, Nick Canny up to stand the mark. Yeah, McGuinness turned his back and walked to the top of the goal square.
Poor umpire was just doing his best to try and explain.
Not having none of it was
nothing.
Big Jonty.
Absolutely nothing.
Fergus McNichol, 4 goals this season. Left half forward, 35-metre kick, 45-degree angle. It's a bit of a helicopter off the boot from Ferg.
Certainly was. Not a great execution. Went a little bit too close to the man on the mark and then had to pull the kick slightly. So a bit disappointing there.
Missed the left-hand side, 14 playing 24. 10-point Collegians lead. 3.5 down in this second term for Nelson Alexander. Van Twest the give and go. Uses Bealby up, and now Davey. Back to Van Twest. His third disposal in the chain. He's cleaned up by Delizio as he kicked. The umpire let them roll. Bazzani kicks it towards Thomas at centre-half forward. Conlon did well with the fist, then pushed Pinchbeck off the footy. Conlon then ran through the footy. Ong intercedes. The handball through to Pinchbeck, and now Franks and Thomas, who dodges inside at centre-half forward. Dylan Thomas, he's a classy finisher, and that is what you expect.
That's a goal. What a goal. He had to kick that too. He burnt 4 options. They were all clear, so he had to kick that. But that was an excellent goal.
Dylan Thomas salutes from 45 metres out. And Collegians 4-6-30 lead St Bernard's 2-2-14. 4.5 gone for Nelson Alexander in this second term. Thomas opens his goal-kicking account for this afternoon. There's a little bit going on in the centre of the ground here, Hugo.
They're all not happy with Delizio for that hit before. So there's a little bit of feeling out there, which is good. And I just know there's big Jonty McGuinness just went over there and said, boys, settle down. Unless you're going to throw them, go away. Go on. And they all got moving. The boy from Sale, not Mafra, as his father likes to be pointed out.
The story there is it's Max Stobie and I think Henry Anderson who've joined Collegians this year out of Mafra. McGuinness has come from Sale, and they very much don't like each other. Delicio's just cleaned up Canny and is just giving him some treatment afterwards. Yes. Collegians won't mind because Pinchbeck's got the footy, kicks it up towards half forward. Free kick, I reckon, going the way of Collegians, and Ong, who was thrown out illegally by Hughes, said the umpire, and Ong goes inside 50. Lukic again, it'll go over his head. He was called out of it actually by his teammate there, Alex Lukic, as he came running up with the football. Overman was right on his case, so he just stopped his run and allowed Luke Smith to take a chest mark. So he is a little bit of an angle to right half forward, but the kick is 40 metres. And this just quietly would be for a 22-point Lions lead, Hugo.
Yeah, they've been very good this quarter. They move the ball very well. They're not going for that long kicking sort of game. That handball release, run and carry is working really well.
So for 4 goals in a row and a goal in his 100th, Luke Smith, no, he's just dragged the kick to the left-hand side.
Right, now we've got to get a message down to Lukic. He's an amazing forward, but he's too unselfish. You've got to be selfish when you're a forward. I would have taken that mark every day of the week, and I would have said to the little bloke, get out of my way. This is my forward line. That's what we need from the big fella. I need a bit of one-on-one time with him, I think.
4 marks inside 50 in the first term for Lukic for 1 goal. And a couple of behinds and 1 given off, as you alluded to, Hugo, as St Bernard's go for McNichol down the car park wing, and he's tied up by a couple of Lions.
Bilby went in very hard there. It's a bit of feeling out there, which is good.
14-31, Collegians with the whip hand, 17-point leaders. Soro takes it out of the ruck, got the handball through. Holland after it at ground level. Franks has got him. Marcus Holland would have played some footy with Caleb Franks at the Northern Bull Ants last year. So some former teammates reintroducing themselves. Soro again tried to take the ball out of the ruck with McGuinness riding shotgun. Bazzani's with the footy, a free kick going the way of St Bernard's picked out.
Played the throw there.
Xavier Smith might get this football back on neutral territory, car park wing. There's not many options for him down the wing, and there is a little bit of a breeze that you can just sense it's picking up that maybe is blowing towards us. More from Raj Johnston on that in a moment. Smith, Hollands leading up the centre square line for a McNichol's further down the line. That's where the kick goes, and McNichol brings it down.
Bilby again.
Big contested grab, Scott Bilby. That's a good matchup. He's giving up a little bit of height, is Scotty Bilby. Tommy Sullivan's on a long lead here for McNichol, who decides that Watson's the better option. Here he comes, Matty Watson, steaming up. He couldn't take the mark. Came the way of Harrison Schumann. Great handball to Delizio. Doesn't get the roll. He misses to the left-hand side. 3-15, St Bernard's 4-7-31, Collegians. 7.5 down in the second term for Nelson Alexander. Davies is kick into Hibbins. Didn't hold on. He's paid the chop of the arms there, Sammy Hibbins, and we'll get the free kick. Down to Raj Johnston. Is it just me, or is there some wind now poking around, Raj?
No, it's not just you, Paddy. I think you're right. There is a bit of breeze blowing around now. As long as I can still find a patch of sun to be under, then that's all good.
In a blink of an eye. Again, it's Lukic inside 50 who's marked. The kick from Canny was inch perfect. Raj, and now it's Lukic who is 40 metres out for a chance at his second. A 5th mark inside 50. The long limbs of Alex Lukic, slide angle 45 metres out this kick.
And he's gone another 45 metres from the mark. He's about 100 metres from goal here. That's the longest run-up I've ever seen.
Yeah, I do know that Ben Brown does live around these parts, but must have had some impact on Alex Lukic. It's a long, long run-up for the big fella. Out of the Hawthorn Citizens, 196 centimetres he is. Turned 22 in January of this year. On the runway, hit it pretty sweetly, but he's just bent it again to the right-hand side. So 1 goal, 3 for Lukic, and 1 given off. He's made his impact, though, up front today. 32 plays 15. And St Bernard's through Overman. We'll go through right half back here. Hughes running for the handball receive. Overman didn't think twice about it. McNichol and Bilby again down the line, and McNichol has another win. Bilby just got lost a bit there, Hugo.
Yeah, he's getting busy. Oh, there's been an infringement here.
Oh, I think Bazzani, who was running through with Berardi, has impeded 50 on the protected zone. So McNichol will get 50. Bazzani was screaming his case.
Yeah, and Bilby's got off his head too.
Yeah, they don't often change their minds, do they?
I've never seen it.
So McNichol is 40 metres out, slide angle to right half forward. He's already had a sighter. We've got far too close to the man on the mark. Let's see what he makes of this one.
There's a bit of breeze coming into our face now, so we're a bit of right to left for this kick.
So it's blowing towards the scoreboard wing. McNichol's on the car park side of the ground at right half forward. 3-step approach this time. Doesn't get close to the man on the mark and puts it straight over the goal umpire's hat. And Big Ferg breaks a run of 3 Collegians goals. The Snow Dogs 3-3-21 trail Collegians 4-8-32 by 11 points for Nelson Alexander, 10 minutes down second term.
I'm just looking down here at Bill, but he's still going off his head about that 50. He's not happy. Arms waving. That's frustrating. When you get goals from just mistakes. But anyway, that was a great execution on goal. But McNichol is getting very busy around that higher half forward. He's taking a lot of marks. So that's another thing that Bilby's probably not happy about.
Yeah, he's got Bilby twice now on the far wing.
So change the matchup.
Yep. You can see now it's Perry that's gone to McNichol around the ground. Ethan Schumann, that's holding the ball. Good track down again and by Pinchbeck, and he's got Van Twest running shotgun, who gets a little bit of a jog up, goes inside 50. Where's Lukic? No, underneath the footy, and Alessio. Looker pulls it down, right half back, kicks it really high and far, and Perry should cut this down for Collegians. Drop the mark. Came in as the third man. And a high contact free kick going the way of Pinchbeck, who goes into the corridor for Hibbins. The Collegians, the next kick inside 50, smothered by Holland. Picked up though by Bilby, who came charging through. He dumps it inside 50. Once more in the Lukic direction. 3 defenders on him. Frank's pulled down by Hughes. The umpire will throw it up left forward pocket for Collegians.
Yeah, they're putting a little bit more work into Lukic now. Every time he goes near the ball, there's probably 2 or 3 peeling off and rolling in and third man up. So it's going to be harder for him, you would think.
Into the ruck goes Lukic. Soro flicks it over the top of his head. Ethan Schumann waits for it and won't make it that far. They'll all fall atop the footy once more.
Just noticing 2 different styles here. The Dogs are really happy for those longer kicks down the line, whereas Collegians are... Oh, Lukic out of the
pack. He spun through. He lost control of the footy. Picked up eventually by Ethan Schumann. A whistle. Which way is it going?
I think Lukic has got the free here.
Yeah, free kick to Collegians after all of that, and Lukic is walking back for another shot.
I think... Yeah, it is.
I reckon he must have got clipped or maybe thrown down as he was being tackled.
He just hit himself in there with the ball then.
That's a few Falcons, isn't it?
That was
an intentional Falcon. You don't see that too often, do you?
Self-inflicted. That was interesting.
Sure. I just think it was James Harden's sort of stuff for NBA watchers a few years ago, slamming the ball into his face. Yeah. Don't want to make a habit of that. Alex Lukic. So he's pretty much in the exact same spot that he missed the last set shot from. So we'll kick it from 38 metres, slide angle to left half forward. And again, it's the methodical approach, and Lukic has been so dominant in this game of footy. Just the one goal. Still looking for his second. That one is, askew again.
Well, it's getting in his head now. You can see that out there. He's very frustrated after that kick. But he has a funny little stagger in the middle of his kicking routine. Yeah, he almost stops, as Brucey man on the button says. It's an interesting one to watch.
So Lukic, if he could kick straight, this game would be in a pretty nice spot for Collegians. They go through the guts here, St Bernard's. Van Twest breaks through. That won't make Steve Alessio happy. Up and under kick. Overman stood in the hole and took a strong grab. Yes, you are right, Hugo, for hit IQ.
I'd like to see a little bit more lateral movement from the Snow Dogs because, as I said before, they're very linear. Here it is again, long down the line.
21 plays 33. It's Collegians by 2 goals. McNichol 2 hands to it. Couldn't bring it down. Tracking it is Smith. Got the handball through. Went Walker to Perry and quick hands. Pinchbeck. St Bernard's faithful appealing for a throw. Nothing forthcoming. The kick dribbles out of play in front of the Collegians bench between wing and half forward for the Lions.
As I was saying there, that long down the line's just not working for the Snow Dogs at the moment, whereas the Collegians are very happy for that run and carry overlap handball through the middle of the ground, which is working every time.
Hearing some good signs out of Old Brighton and Joey Campili. We'll get to Raj Johnston on that in just a few moments' time as this ball is held back into play and it is once again bound for the boundary line. Let's get down to Raj Johnston for Tobin Brothers Funerals and around the grounds. What's the story?
Well, there are close games everywhere you look, Paddy. The Tunners lead the Zavs by 5 points. Old Scotch lead the Blues by 7. Haileybury leading D-Lar by 4 points. And scores the level between St Kevin's and the Uni Blacks.
And in that game for the Tunners, I hear that Joey Campili has 4 goals for Old Brighton out of their 5 on return after playing most of this year for the Sandy Zebras. Joey Campilli, last year's rising star, who's destined, I think, for greater honours for his footballing career. We're between wing and half forward here for Collegians. Gwynn gives away a free kick, tackles Davey high. So Davey, Walker by hand is his option. He goes inside 50. Lukic again comes storming up, drops this mark at his chest, then emerges, feeds it to the outside. Smith couldn't take a hot handball. Schumann takes him in the tackle. And again, a ball up. So they are feeding off Lukic. It's just his goal kicking.
Yep.
Probably could have 4 at the moment, but only 1. 4-9-33 to 3-3-21 is the score, is the story. 12-point leaders, the Lions. They kicked 3 in a row across the back end of the first quarter and early in the second before Big Ferg McNichol put a stop to that. And the margin sits at 2 goals halfway through this second term for Nelson Alexander. Brilliant sunshine here in Essendon's West. Berardi, ground level, rove the tap down. Gwynn's involved across half-back. Sullivan with the fend-off on Smith and gave it straight to Thomas, who wades his way loose of traffic. Gave it to Hibbins. He hacks it inside 50. A one-on-one, Pockney and Caven. Pockney nearly brought it down. Alessio got him. Did he get him high? No, says the umpire. So it'll be thrown up directly in front of the Collegians' goal, 12 metres out. That hill is now starting to fill out at the Buckley Street end here of the Snake Pit. Ball in the air, McNichol, straight to Ethan Schumann. He's tied up by Pinchbeck and will do it all again. So a lot of stoppages at the Buckley Street end of the ground so far, Hugo.
It is. It's been very congested down there and high pressure.
McNichol, it slipped through his fingers. Archer's waiting for it. Towed out of danger there by Gwynn and thrown over the boundary. It's Conlon. Archer was...
A little bit of afters there going on.
Yeah, I think Archer was actually quite careful and cautious with the way he tackled. It looked a little bit slingy, but he made sure the head didn't touch the ground there, so no harm done.
Very courteous. Very caring.
Yeah, not quite the footy that you would have played in, Hugo, I think.
No, you try to bury him.
Yeah, I think you get thrown into the creek, which is just running beside St Bernard's College, but Jimmy Archer, a lot more charitable than you back in your day. Lukic tackles Berardi as we restart play, and just stoppage after stoppage inside 50. I think there's about 7 in a sequence here. Without really getting out of defensive 50 as far as St Bernard's are concerned. And Berardi gets held up. The ball escapes him. Hughes flings a handball to McNichol. Cuts it off. Has a snap which was impeded by the Holland tackle. McNichol throws another fist at it. Berardi was clean and they will finally clear the zone. St Bernard's a 2-on-1 though. Watson backs back. Warren with the fist. Hit it to a dangerous spot. And Liberatore takes it and kicks it inside 50. And Sullivan's running after it in the pocket. Takes the footy. Attack of the fumbles. Tackled. Handballs it over the boundary line. The umpire will call for a throw-in.
Geez, he was out there. He was out, and Warren did really well to effect that tackle.
It was Gillam the kick into 50. Not Liberatore, apologies. And Sullivan, he was out and home had he not just fumbled the footy. But still, St Bernard's with the stoppage inside 50 this time. So they've defended for a long period of this second quarter. They now get a chance to attack. Watson in the ruck against Putris, who spikes it down to Walker, held up by Gillam. He's on the move here for St Bernard's. Ball will go towards the boundary. Sullivan will track it down, keeps it in, gets away from Davey to Gillam along the boundary to Holland, who kicks across himself, snaps it. Putris on the bounce cuts it off and then just wanders out of half-back. Tries for Lukic, the kick a little bit too hot for him. Fuller tried to bring it down for the Snow Dogs. Overman
was picked up.
Literally grabbed D'Amico and just about chucked him on his shoulder. The umpire calls for a ball up. So stoppage after stoppage in this sequence. 12 points the Collegians lead. 21 plays 33.
Oh, strong.
Holland goes for a run. Tongi skipped over his hands. Sullivan at ground level. Perry tries to harry him off the footy. Fed through there to Smith. Canny on hands and knees it was, who made the first handball. And they will get out Collegians. So just between the arcs for this period of time. Here's Walker. He's going to spread it to Wong all by himself. Scoreboard wing. Has a handball option in Van Twest. So the build-up complete for the Lions. Van Twest with the entry job to do. Runs to 52 metres and kicks it directly to Luca Alessio. So not the entry that Collegians would have wanted. And Hughes is out on the right half-back flank. Hugo, it's just been a little bit of an awkward period for both squads this 5 minutes.
Yeah, it has. It's been very congested. Very fumbly too. Very fumbly. But... Snowdog's starting to use a little bit of lateral ball movement, which is what they have to do, because the long down the line stuff's just not working. It's too easily picked off.
Yeah, they're going corridor through Harrison Schumann. And Smith marks at centre-half back, and again the switch, not a great one for Holland. Archer will get to the footy first for Collegians. Holland, great tackle.
Very
crocodile
yeah,
roll.
It was. He basically rolled him. It was a adventurous tackle there. But anyway, that was a dangerous kick, but it's worked out all right. Yeah. Stoppage yet again.
Yeah, and Putris into the ruck, hits it towards the boundary line where it will go over again. So not much to write home about this last 10 minutes or so of this second term for Nelson Alexander. Still a 12-point lead, though, for Collegians. So Geordie McKenzie, for now, is a happy man who is just tucked in behind this boundary throw-in in neutral territory scoreboard wing. McNichol, the last goal of the game at the 10-minute mark, and we've had, since then, 10 minutes of stoppage-to-stoppage footy. Berardi has played his part. He lost control of the footy. Putris picks it up and kicks it back inside 50 for Collegians. Fuller good spoil on Lukic, tracking it towards the boundary line, both men. And good job there by Harrison Fuller, because Lukic has proved pretty hard to beat inside 50 today. Didn't take the mark. Fuller fisted it away and then got it over the white line for another throw-in.
And they're happy to have the extra, the Snow Dogs down there, and Alessio just sitting in front of Lukic now. So they realised there that Lukic was marking a lot of the ball, so they had to do something, so they've gone with the +1.
And Lukic into the ruck now to maybe give it a bit of a different look against Soro. Soro down in front of himself. They'll get it clear. Bilby sits underneath the kick, though, and takes the intercept grab. Harrison Schumann up and down the chimney. Bilby between wing and half forward, too far out to score. Eye scanning inside 50. So many numbers in the right forward pocket at the Buckley Street end, Hugo. It's a high kick into a pack. Lukic, two hands, reaching for it, roved and kicked towards goal and out of bounds on the full off the shoe of Will Pockney.
Up on the grassy knoll.
Yes, indeed. That's quite helpful. There's actually someone who has bothered to pick up the footy to throw it back to the players. So I think they're catching on to what you're asking for, Hugo.
Yeah, they're clearly listening. No, but that bloke, basically the ball bounced into his arms, so he had to do something with it.
Just a little look at Alex Lukic, who's just come off the ground and just looks in a touch of discomfort on the Collegians bench. More on that in a moment with Raj Johnston as Liberatore between wing and half back as the ball was kicked in from the out of bounds on the full shot. Hugo?
And we've got one of the Snow Dogs limping towards the bench at the moment too.
Yeah, Marcus Holland looks to be
in a bit of trouble.
So a little bit of action on the benches. Bazzani from the restart, inside 50, 3-on-1 here, favouring the Snow Dogs. Thomas was the one and stayed down. Overman's got the footy. It's hot in the kitchen. Dom Sullivan across the face of goal. He was good. Found Angus Ryan at the top of the defensive goal square. The switch now is on for the Snow Dogs. Gwynn and Smith. Smith thumps it out of play. So another Collegians win, thrown in between wing and half forward this time on the car park side of St Bernard's College Oval.
It's a good intercept by the Snow Dogs and not a bad exit anyway. They've got it out of that congestion. But you've got to think that the Collegians may be kicking themselves later in the game for that poor kicking that has eventuated.
So 21 plays 33, 12-point Collegians lead on the SEN app and SEN website for the match of the day here in top flight of the VAFA. St Bernard's down the wing and Tommy Sullivan on the bounce, takes the ball, takes a running bounce, spins 360, gave it to Watson 55 metres out, skims the handball. Liberatore working in a shoebox, back to Watson by hand. It wasn't a great handball and the Collegians defence holds up. Warren now with the footy across centre half back, kicks it straight to Dom Sullivan. Inside 50, it'll cost him. Gillum against the boundary line, he picks it up, can feed the handball over the top to Hughes, who can go back to Gillum along the boundary. Bilby imposes himself, in comes Smith, dives almost at the ankles there of Mitch Hughes, and the umpire will call for the football and he will throw it in the air. Left forward pocket here for the Snow Dogs, 23 and a half gone. Second term action for Nelson Alexander. Relegation battle here in beautiful August sunshine here in Essendon's West. Canny clears the zone, skips Putris initially. Caven pushed out Archer. Pockney's now got him. 60 metres out, we'll have it thrown in the air once again.
It's just congestion everywhere over the ground. No one can get a free handball or any possession. There's still a bit of afters going on. And the umpire does the right thing and just throws it up.
Yeah, Soro took it unopposed, gave it off to Schumann. That's Harrison, kicks it towards the boundary line in the forward pocket, and it's marked down there just beneath us. Cassidy. And Corey goes across the face of goal. Bilby will mark and complete the switch and kicks it into a teammate who was looking right into the sun there, Matty Warren, but took the ball on the bounce. Thomas, and now over the top to Franks.
Using the overlap really well here, Collegians.
Yeah, Franks pinch back in the centre circles, the 45 kick. Finds the number 29. Franks cruises on by through the middle of the snake pit. The kick just over the head there of Putris and Caven, and McNichol now has to pick it up and take the tackle, which he does. So on the arc of 50, it'll be thrown in the air. Raj Johnston on the boundary here for Tobin Brothers Funerals.
Yeah, Paddy, it's Marcus Holland's left foot that's causing him a bit of trouble. He's got the boot off now and is being examined by the trainer.
Thanks for that, Raj. As Ong feeds it out from the contest. Pockney has a shot at goal. He's cleaned up as he kicked it. Does affect the result just. Again. He's missed to the right-hand side. I reckon it might have been, as a look at it, McNichol maybe who came up to lay the tackle.
Good tackle. Did
a reasonable job. Don't think it was McNichol. It might have been Delizio who has taken a few names. So 21 plays 34. 13-point lead. 3-3-21 St Bernard's. 4-10-34 Collegians. So 14 scoring shots to 6. But it's just a 13-point advantage. So the Snow Dogs well and truly still in this. Berardi now with the footy. High in the air. Down the car park wing. Bealby comes over the top and takes a strong intercept grab. And could have been 50 there for a moment. The man on the mark was pushing over. None awarded, so Bealby long inside 50. Overman with the fist in the forward pocket. Berardi to Alessio and Gwynn. And the St Bernard's defence rebounds quickly. Hughes takes the footy. 45 kick. Canny involves himself. Van Twest and Tongi battle for the footy. Tongi wins the day. Feeds it out. Liberatore high in the air. Soro McGuinness in a one-on-one. Soro takes the mark. They're all leaking inside 50. All by himself. He's got Angus Ryan who's leaked in. He's going to go over the top of Bazzani. The kick didn't do him any favours. It's cleaned up by Canny, and now Collegians the other way. Through the centre of the snake pit. Franks to D'Amico at centre half forward just about. He wrenches himself loose. He's looking inside 50. He had Ong by hand. D'Amico instead is wise and goes wide. Bealby, 75 metres out. Runs to the point of the centre square. Kicks it inside 50. Archer was nowhere near it. And Alessio takes it on the bounce and clears the zone to Berardi through right half back, although he doesn't hold on.
What was that on the full?
And in the end, the ball goes out of play with him and Bealby involving themselves. So 22-34, end-to-end footy for not much result. 26.5 gone for Nelson Alexander. In the second term, Hugo Higginbotham for Hit IQ.
Yeah, it was disappointing they kicked by Soro before because he had them all streaming to goal. It was just a bit of a lazy kick that he kicked to the advantage of the Collegians player. And you're going to see a lot of intercepts in the Collegians forward line now with the extra down there in Alessio as a +1 in defence for the Snow Dogs.
And it's going to be a free kick going the way of the home side out of the throw-in. So Soro's got the footy, right half back. Goes for McNichol, who is pushed out of by Warren, who did all his work very early. Good to see Matty Warren Black playing footy. He had that knee injury last year, which wrecked his season. He's been a staple for this football club in recent years. Gave it to Davey. Now Archer in the centre square. Spreads the footy. Thomas waits for it in the sunshine. Scoreboard wing. 2 kicks from home. Dylan Thomas, who has a goal already in the piece. Kicks it inside 50. Good kick towards Putris. Across the front, Alessio again. Just been repelling everything that goes inside 50. Liberatore knocks it loose. Pinchbeck came spinning through. Delizio tackles him to the ground at centre half back for the Snow Dogs. It'll be thrown in the air.
So Watson's gone behind the ball as well. So they've got a +2 in their back line now, the Snow Dogs. They really want to shut this quarter down and not give anything away.
Yeah, Bealby and Perry are the spares at the moment the other way for Collegians. Franks takes it, puts it inside 50, cut down again. Alessio kicks it loose. Liberatore will track down a bouncing footy. Tongi's next in the chain, or McNichol a little bit further on. One-on-one with Warren. No one else is inside. Forward 50. Warren tracks back, picks up the ball. Perry applies to Shepherd, and the kick for Oakley Kerr is good. He takes the mark in front of us, right back pocket, and then clears defensive 50. Short over the top to Hibbins. Left to elbow strapped after surgery there this year. After a shocking injury earlier in the piece. Missed a lot of footy, Sam Hibbins. Didn't play between round 3 and round 12, but he's back out there, and again, Collegians on the switch. Perry, Bazzani, one more up the line. Franks, and inside to Ong, who takes the mark. Edge of the centre square, and he's off and running away from Delizio. Kicks it inside 50, again on the bounce. The entry's not been great. Tracking the ball, Putris. Alessio with him now. Drags it down illegally over the shoulder, as called by Hugo Higginbotham for Hit IQ. So a chance here for Will Putris in the long sleeves on a warm day. In the left half forward flank, he'll have to kick it 40 metres towards the Buckley Street end.
Well, Collegians are going to own the ball in their back half of the ground because they've got the +2, the 2 spare down there. So Snow Dogs happy with the 4-man forward line and congest the Collegians forward line. But it's an entry like that and a free kick's not going to help with those extras down there.
So we haven't seen a goal since the 10-minute marker this term where Fergus McNichol put one through. It's been 20 minutes just about of goalless footy. 12-point lead for Collegians as it stands right now. Putris on approach, right footer. That one is good.
It's a great goal.
And it's a big cuddle for Max Pinchbeck, courtesy of Will Putris, who dobs one from a difficult angle, the right footer, and extends Collegians' advantage. 40 plays 22, 5-10-40 to 3-4-22. 30 minutes gone, second term for Nelson Alexander. We might go around the grounds after that goal and see what's gone on with Raj Johnston, thanks to Tobin Brothers Funerals. Raj, what's the story?
Well, the story is the Tunners are starting to break away at Brighton Beach Oval, 7-6-48, leading the Zavs 4-5-29. Old Scotch 6-5-41, 6 points clear of the Uni Blues, 4-11-35. Old Haileybury 6-3-39, lead Dealer 3-6-24. And a close one at the TH King at St Kevin's 5-6-36 to the Uni Blacks 5-4-34.
Thank you, Raj. And quickly, Collegians go back inside 50. Walker's kick, though, is marked by Dom Sullivan inside 50. Usually there's 3 Sullivans and 2 Tommy Sullivans for St Bernard's, so I'm happy with 1 Dom and 1 Tom today.
Makes it simpler.
Makes life a lot more straightforward in the commentary box, I can tell you that much. Caven's gone forward to even up the Bilby matchup. He's the target of this long kick down the scoreboard wing. 2 Collegians defenders come across the front. One of those, Jasper Davey, to get a fist on the football that's out of play in front of the St Bernard's bench between wing and half forward scoreboard side. So 20 minutes between Fergus McNichol's goal and Will Putris' goal. 22 plays 40. It's been Collegians. They grabbed the lead the 16-minute mark of the first term, and since then they've just been able to slowly build on it. Here's Dom Sullivan against the boundary line. Brings the kick back across his body. Luca Alessio goes for a trot. The handball for Soro was dangerous, and Pinchbeck now has it. Gave it to Hibbins. He's got to go towards centre-half forward. Time will run out. So 31.5 minutes that quarter went. 5-10-40 Collegians, 3-4-22 St Bernard's at half-time. And the goal kickers all singles for Collegians: Lukic, Archer, Pinchbeck, Thomas and Putris. For St Bernard's, McNichol, Gillam and Holland. So just the 3 goal kickers for the Snow Dogs. It was an 11-point lead for Collegians at quarter time. They've extended that to 18 at the long break here on the SEN Match of the Day, streaming live on the SEN app and website. And you can also find us on vafa.com.au, where you can get yourself across the other scores across top flight, and Raj Johnston will tell you the story. We'll be hearing from Raj and his halftime tidbits after the break, and Andrew Keneally, the president of Collegians, is about to join us shortly. More on the other side of this.
Are you looking to grow your business? William Buck are more than just accountants and advisors who can develop strategic growth plans for your business. With over 125 years' experience, William Buck has expertise in navigating through challenging times and has been working closely with the VAFA community, creating positive change for individuals, businesses and community organisations. William Buck's team of specialist advisors work collaboratively, providing you with 360 support. Schedule a complimentary consultation today by visiting williambuck.com.
Hey guys, at GYG we never compromise on the quality of our food. That's why we only serve 100% free-range chicken. We're on a mission to reinvent fast food, because who said fast food had to be bad food? Love ya.
Would you like to get more closely involved with footy and enjoy the unique camaraderie and bonds that exist in and around footy clubs? VAFA clubs are always looking for volunteers to assist with the weekly running of the club, both on and off the field. Log on to vafa.com.au and check out our club directory to find a club near you.
The Anytime Fitness VAFA Rising Star Award recognises the competition's most talented young players. Each week, the VAFA Rising Star Committee receives nominations for 1 male and 1 female player, aged 20 years or under, who played no more than 7 senior games before this season. Our overall season winners will be declared the Anytime Fitness VAFA Rising Stars for 2025. So, if your club has a young gun making their mark, nominate them now at media@vafa.com.au.
Is your club celebrating a player milestone? Let us know at VAFA Media and we'll feature it in the Amateur Footballer. We're always on the lookout for stories that acknowledge outstanding achievements and the clubs behind them. Email us at media@vafa.com.au.
Tickets are now on sale for one of the signature events on the VAFA calendar, the 2025 William Buck VAFA Finals Luncheon, held on Friday, September 5 at Zinc Fed Square. Join us as we celebrate the road to the VAFA and AFL finals with 5-time Premiership player Dermot Brereton and 2-time Brownlow medalist Greg Diesel Williams. Secure your tickets today at vafa.com.au.
Listen in to the award-winning VAFA William Buck Premier Men's SEN Match of the Day this Saturday afternoon on SEN's new no-delay streaming product, SEN Stadium. That's VAFA Footy, live with no delay, Saturday from 1:45pm. Listen via the app.
This is the VAFA William Buck SEN Match of the Day, live on vafa.com.au and the SEN website and app. Paddy Grindlay with you again this afternoon. The sharpest eye in amateur footy, Hugo Higginbotham beside me in the commentary box for Hit IQ, and Raj Johnston on the boundary for us as well. For Tobin Brothers Funerals, the story here at the Snake Pit, it's the Snow Dogs 3-3-21, trailing Collegians 5-10-40. It was a pretty dull second term, if truth must be told. 3 goals only kicked in it, 2 the way of Collegians, 1 the way of St Bernard's, and it's the Lions that hold a 19-point half-time advantage here in Essendon's West on a beautiful day for footy. And joining us in the commentary box for our half-time show is Collegians President Andrew Crackers Keneally, all thanks to Nelson Alexander. Crackers, good half of footy, I think, from your footy club.
Yeah, good half. Would have been better if we kicked straight.
Nearly there. I think our man Alex Lukic, he looked like he was about to tear the game apart, but unfortunately when he wasn't missing his set shots, he was giving a couple off as well. So He's had an almost kind of day, which I think tells the story for you so far.
It is a bit like that. We're probably controlling the corridor pretty well, getting some... I'm actually sitting up behind goals with one of the Melbourne board members. And
big week.
We said it's a bit triggering watching this. It's exactly like Melbourne. You move through the corridor and that last kick inside 50 is just not quite hitting the target at the moment. So, and then if we have a shot on goal, it's just missing, which is a Melbourne supporter.
Yes.
We're a bit burnt by it.
Tell us about your year so far, because it's felt that you and Geordie have been so close so many times this season. The results just haven't quite worked out your way down the stretch. You've played some really good footy. And I put to Geordie that today's side, it does feel a lot similar to the 2023 Premiership side you have, as well as all those young guys that have pushed through with the injuries and unavailabilities that you've had over the last 15 months or so. Does it feel like you're getting the band back together a touch today?
We are a touch, yeah. Obviously, Hibbo and Ongi were out for a long period of time, so they now had a couple of games under their belt. A few blokes that had the Tullamarine flu are back, and Bilby had a game under his belt last week. And then, James Archer and a couple of young kids, Will Oakley-Kerr's been added into the mix, which has given us a little bit of youth, which has been great.
And I do know that Geordie is expecting his first child today. Is he still in the coach's chair? Has he got the phone call yet, or is he
he's still
good
here
to coach out for the duration?
Still here. I might sub in if he gets called away, but no, he's still here at this stage. So.
Very good. So, obviously, a lot on the line with the game today. I think it was 2007 the last time you guys were in B grade. So is there much talk about that behind the scenes, or is it...
Yeah.
Very...
To Sam Hibbins' credit, probably about 6 weeks ago when we knew that we were probably not going to make finals, he pulled the group in and said, boys, we've got to refocus. Don't get disheartened, we're not going to make finals. It's now the beauty of VAFA footy, it's relegation, and we now need to focus on that as our thought pattern. So we've targeted a few games. Obviously, we need to beat this mob.
Yep.
For us, this is a grand final today. If we lose this, we're out. We're going back to B grade, which, as you said, we haven't been there since 2006. Important game.
Very important. That's all right. But and the run home now. So do you work much with Geordie in terms of the support he needs? Because it's a pretty tough run home, I think, for you guys.
Yeah, the next 2 weeks are really tough.
Yep.
Zav's and Brighton. Zav's at home, Brighton away. But yeah, a lot of people wrote us off last week against the Kevins, and we had chances last week to win that game. So, and as you said, we're starting to get the band back together. I wouldn't say we're not going to put up a good fight in the next 2 weeks.
Yep.
So no, we're not throwing the towel in at all. I think we're getting a good squad together, and as I said, Hibbo and that are starting to get games under their belt after a long absence.
I was told also by Geordie that today is Luke Smith's 100th game for the footy club. Can you tell us a bit about Luke?
Luke's a ripper. When I was coaching the under-19s in, I think, 2007, he came down from the school. It's taken him that long to play with COVID.
How old is he?
Yeah, with COVID and a few injuries, it's taken him a fair while to get to it. But he sets a standard, even though he's sort of been in and out of the side over the years. He really sets a standard of training and expectation of getting to training and doing the right thing. He's a good clubman, and I think someone like him will be around the club for a while in other capacities once he finishes.
Yeah, and a little bit about your playing list today. I mentioned you were getting the band back together, but you're also getting guys like Caleb Franks, who's come through this footy club. He's a journeyman out of Queensland who plays his VFL footy with the Northern Bull Ants, and he picked your club to play with, and that seems to have been the story with a few VFL guys this year. Why is it such an attractive proposition for VFL players to come play their local footy for Collegians?
Well, they're mates. They've got connections at the club.
Yep.
So that's how we've got them. We don't really go out and hunt people that don't have a connection to the club because we want that buy-in. So no, they've got mates down here, so that's why they're down at the club. So, but no, it's like all premier clubs. They're all good places, and it's great that the VFL players choose the amateurs to come and play if as their next step down if they're not getting a game. So.
It's just hard that when you're at the beck and call of the coaches when they call up and say, no, we're taking him this week, so you don't get him. But every club's in the same boat.
Yeah, 100%.
So with a couple of games to go, what's the plan for the rest of the year for the Collegians around the club?
Well, we've got 2 home games, obviously. We've got our President's Raffle on at the moment, so obviously off the field we're trying to make sure we stay financial. So that's probably our focus. We're using this year a little bit from the committee point of view without having a women's side to reset some of our, we're just about to sign off our strategic plan. We've appointed the head of women's football, so they're looking at appointing a coach in the next couple of weeks. They're going to do a launch of the women's program on the 19th of September. So fair bit going off the field, which is sort of my job, and Geordie's job is on the field with his guys. So, yeah, we've just got to make sure we survive on the field.
Yeah.
And I'll just take you inside the second half at the moment. You're up by 19 points. You seem to have the game under control. How have you seen it so far, and what needs to keep on happening?
As I said, frustrating that we're probably controlling the footy through the middle at the moment, and then just that last kick inside 50 is either missing the goal or the guy who gets on the end of it isn't putting it through. So if we can fix that part of it...
not naming names.
If we can fix that part... He's not alone. But
yes, correct.
If we can fix that part of it, that'd be... hopefully put us in good stead. But they're a good side and a good club, so they'll come back, no doubt about that. Everything's on the line for them. As I said, it's a grand final for us. It's also for them. So I wouldn't expect them to lay down.
Yeah, I love the relegation battles. I think it just adds such a different complexion to the competition as we continue on. We turn over 20% of the competition each year in A grade, and there's always that level of tension. Crackers, thanks for your time on the halftime show. Enjoy the rest of the game.
No worries, terrific. Thanks for what you guys do. It's fantastic.
I appreciate it, mate. That's the president of Collegians, Andrew Crackers Keneally, joining us here in the commentary box here at St Bernard's College Oval, where we find Collegians clear by 19 points. We'll take another break, and on the other side of it, we'll hear from Raj Johnston around the grounds thanks to Tobin Brothers Funerals and all his halftime tidbits.
Hey guys, at GYG we never compromise on the quality of our food. That's why we only serve 100% free-range chicken. We're on a mission to reinvent fast food, because who said fast food had to be bad food? Love ya.
Is your club celebrating a player milestone? Let us know at VAFA Media and we'll feature it in the Amateur Footballer. We're always on the lookout for stories that acknowledge outstanding achievements and the clubs behind them. Email us at media@vafa.com.au.
Tickets are now on sale for one of the signature events on the VAFA calendar, the 2025 William Buck VAFA Finals Luncheon, held on Friday, September 5 at Zinc Fed Square. Join us as we celebrate the road to the VAFA and AFL Finals with 5-time Premiership player Dermot Brereton and 2-time Brownlow medalist Greg Diesel Williams. Secure your tickets today at vafa.com.au.
Are you looking to grow your business? William Buck are more than just accountants and advisors who can develop strategic growth plans for your business. With over 125 years' experience, William Buck has expertise in navigating through challenging times and has been working closely with the VAFA community, creating positive change for individuals, businesses and community organisations. William Buck's team of specialist advisors work collaboratively, providing you with 360 support. Schedule a complimentary consultation today by visiting williambuck.com. Would you like to get more closely involved with footy and enjoy the unique camaraderie and bonds that exist in and around footy clubs? VAFA clubs are always looking for volunteers to assist with the weekly running of the club, both on and off the field. Log on to vafa.com.au and check out our club directory to find a club near you.
Listen in to the award-winning VAFA William Buck Premier Men's SEN Match of the Day this Saturday afternoon on SEN's new no-delay streaming product, SEN Stadium. That's VAFA Footy, live with no delay, Saturday from 1:45pm. Listen via the app.
Half-time on the Match of the Day here in the Amateurs. It's Collegians by 19 points over St Bernard's in a relegation dogfight as both squads desperately try and avoid the dreaded ninth placing and Premier B in 2026. Raj Johnston is our boundary rider today, and for Tobin Brothers Funerals, he's got all the scores around VAFA top flight. Raj, take it away.
Some interesting results, and not least at Brighton Beach Oval, Paddy. It's Old Brighton 7-6-48 over the Old Zavs 4-5-29 at half-time. At the Uni Main, Old Scotch up by 5 points to the Blues, 41 plays 36. Old Haileybury 6-3-39, 15 points clear of Dealar, 3-6-24. And in our third versus fifth game, St Kevin's v the Uni Blacks, it's St Kevin's 6-6-42 over the Blacks 5-5-35.
Thank you very much, Raj. So if we go through game by game, Old Brighton and the Old Zavarians, the winner will be first tonight. So the Tunners, currently at home, where they haven't lost in just about a year and a half, or just about 2 years actually, all the way back to 2023. They look like they're going to do the business over the Old Zavarians, which is a massive achievement for Marcel Bruin and his men. Old Scotch and the University Blues. The Blues, with a tricky run home, they really need to try and secure one of these next 2 weeks against Old Scotch and the University Blacks. But as it shakes out right now, it's Scotch in front by 5 points. This game, of course, Collegians and St Bernard's, massive as the run home for the relegation battle is as it's concerned. If Collegians win today, they'll look a hell of a lot safer, and they'll look like they'll be playing top flight footy again in 2026. Dealar and Old Haileybury trying to keep its foot in the door in the top four. Dealar looking for its first win still in top flight footy in 2025. And St Kevin's and the University Blacks, well, the winner of that looks a lot better as far as qualification for finals is concerned, and that one's close as well. So you can watch the Dealar and Old Haileybury game, and on Community TV and on VAFA TV you can watch the University Blues and Old Scotch, and Old Brighton and the Old Zavarians as well. So that's the broadcast information as far as the rest of the afternoon is concerned. Raj Johnston, you also spoke to Collegians coach Geordie McKenzie at half-time for his notes. What did he have to say?
Well, to quote Geordie, he thinks they just sort of won that quarter, Paddy. He was pleased with their effort, thought that improved. They do need to get better on executing the easy option. He did think they were stopping their uncontested mark game better than quarter one. But look, he's aware there's still plenty of time to go. It's going to be an arm wrestle for the rest of the day.
Thanks very much, Raj. Our halftime show thanks to Nelson Alexander. If you're thinking of buying or selling, contact John McKenna at Nelson Alexander. Raj Johnston with all the information that you'll ever need today for Tobin Brothers Funerals. And for funeral needs, you can contact St Bernard's past player Hugh Tobin at Tobin Brothers, and he'll sort you out good and proper. Hugo Higginbotham is here for Hit IQ. And first quarter, Hugo, really entertaining end-to-end stuff. The second term, well, it got a bit contested and grubby.
It did. Sort of changed a little bit when the Snow Dogs put one behind the ball, because it made it a lot harder for those entries for the Collegians. But Collegians really bounced out of their defensive 50 when they should, because they had an extra player down there. So it was an interesting one. Both sides not really wanting to use the lateral ball and get away from congestion. They're trying to pick each other apart to a certain extent. Collegians a lot better with that overhand overlap run and handball through the middle of the ground, and they're kicking pretty good, but it's just falling down forward. And the Snow Dogs probably kicking a little bit too linear, too long down the line. If they can go a little bit more lateral and find some overlap run and some run and carry, then can open the game up a little bit. So let's hope for a really open second half, Paddy. We're about 12 goals each side. Have a shootout, a bit of a score fest.
So the conditions, if you're just joining us here at St Bernard's College here in Essendon's West, there's a slight wind blowing from the car park side towards the scoreboard side. So blowing across the ground. Aside from that, conditions are perfect for footy. The ground is in wonderful order. Cricket grass, it dies off in winter time. It's just starting to get that green tinge back to it again. There is barely a cloud in the sky. It's about 15 degrees. It's just about t-shirt weather in the sunshine and light hoodie stuff in the shadows, which are lengthening now as we head further into the afternoon. Collegians led it by 11 points at quarter time and then extended that lead to 19 points, 21 playing 40 at half-time. The goal kickers all singles for both squads. So for the Lions, Lukic, Archer, Pinchbeck, Thomas and Putris, the singles. St Bernard's, Holland, Gillam and McNichol. And we had 20 minutes of goalless football between the 10 and 30 minute marks of the second term, which explains this game, I'd say, rather neatly. As far as injuries are concerned, we did see Mitch Hughes cop a little rib tickler from Kenny Ong, a few experienced guys going as hard at the footy as you'd want, but he looks to be okay and continuing on. And I was watching very closely Marcus Holland for the Snow Dogs, who looked to be a little bit sore, had his boot off and was getting some treatment, but he looks to be continuing on. As the St Bernard's huddle breaks, he might be making his way to start this second half on the bench though. So Collegians kicking towards the left of your radio dial, towards the pavilion end of St Bernard's College Oval. And the Snow Dogs will be kicking towards the Buckley Street end, which has a well-populated hill right behind it, with a few people dedicated to not getting up and chucking the footy back to the players as they make their way to kick the ball back in. Raj Johnston briefly on the boundary for us for Tobin Brothers Funerals.
Thanks, Paddy. Just spoke to Steve Alessio to get his thoughts at halftime. Look, he was pretty clear. He thinks the Snow Dogs do need to clean up their ball use inside 50. The Collegians are going well through the middle, and he thinks his side have left goals on the table by the way they're going about it.
Thanks very much for that, Raj, and good to hear from Steve Alessio and Geordie McKenzie at halftime. We thank them for their access to us at VAFA Media. The third quarter's ahead for Community Bank of Keilor East, providing award-winning financial products and services and committed to returning profits to local communities. Hugo Higginbotham for Hit IQ and its game-changing Protect technology. What needs to change for the Snow Dogs to win this game of football?
Yeah, they've got to get some lateral ball movement and some running carry through the middle of the ground.
We'll see how that goes as we're away now in the third term. No bounce yet, though, in the centre of the ground, which is what we were looking out for today. And Soro and McGuinness renew hostilities. The ball, the bootlaces of both Schumann brothers, Ethan and Harrison, and the umpire quick to stop the play, and he'll throw it in the air again.
All he did before the game, the umpire, was practice bouncing, and he hasn't bounced it once. I'm very disappointed with that.
Yeah, I hate getting sucked into something. McGuinness and his bootlaces towards Walker, picks it back up, McGuinness, and finds Campbell Walker this time, high in the air. Caven and D'Amico. Caven wins the day. Hibbins on the scene. Alessio waiting for the footy. Free kick going the way of Caven. Hibbins rode him into the ground without the football. So Mick Caven in senior game 108 for the Snow Dogs, into the corridor as he called for Hugo, kicked it straight to Dylan Thomas, who dropped the mark. He was so surprised, but then got on his bike and took a bounce, runs towards goal, outside of the left shoe on the bounce to Hibbins, somewhat awkwardly, long handball to D'Amico, got around the opponent, fed Franks, one step snap, no, he thought better of it, went backwards, gave the handball away, kick inside 50, Putris back with the fight, Caven and Alessio, they clean each other up, Walker into goal, got it! Campbell Walker, he made the most of two Snow Dogs defenders cleaning each other up, Alessio and Caven, in the same book but on different pages, and Campbell Walker the beneficiary.
No communication there. That was evident, because they were the only two players going for the ball. And it's frustrating when things like that happen, but that's communication. You really want your players to be talking to each other, and there's enough players around there to be able to direct that. But anyway, they won't get that one back. But it was very good roving work and a great snap on goal.
So 21 plays 46, a little adjustment to the half-time score, as we had it at 22 for St Bernard. So 25 points is the lead. And Campbell Walker gets us off and running within the first 90 seconds. Repeat ball ups in the middle of the ground. Goal number 3 in the season for Campbell Walker. A little bit of a delay here, Hugo.
It's a wardrobe malfunction. It was a bootlace.
Yeah, Dylan Gwynn, all's good though. And McGuinness behind the contest to Bazzani, towed loose of his advantage. Liberatore with a couple of little hacks off the ground, gets it back inside 50. Ethan Schumann atop the football. On the arc of 50, it'll be thrown in the air. Collegians, by the way, Hugo, they've kicked 5 of the last 6 goals. So looking in good shape. We're still waiting for our first multiple goal kicker from either side, though. Campbell Walker becomes the 6th for Collegians. Ball back in the air. Gwynn doing the tackling this time for St Bernard's. The umpire will cross himself again.
They're earning their money today, the umpires, aren't they? They're well on world record for a repeat stoppage, I reckon.
It has been stoppage after stoppage, basically after the first 15 minutes of the game, really. The second term was real tough sledding. Putris by hand to Thomas, and he finds some space forward side. It was cut off by Overman, who smothered it and grabbed the footy in the same motion, kicked it deep inside 50. Bilby tracked it back, couldn't bring down the chest mark. Lots of Collegians numbers around the footy. The kick across the face of goal has to be perfect to Davey, and it was. And he can continue the switch. It's a high kick to Miko. Alessio closes him down. D'Amico has to turn to Spoiling and did a reasonable job on Luca Alessio, who's been marking it like no one's business over the last fortnight. And again a stoppage. Outer side wing, neutral territory. Soro and McGuinness again. Evenly matched ruck pair. McGuinness almost unopposed went up and tapped it straight down to Schumann. That's Ethan. He was tied up from the moment he had the footy. Again, yep, earning their money. The officials in green today. Here's Hughes. Pinchbeck's got him 3 in a row, Hugo.
Watch for 4. That's my tip. But yeah, we just want to see. They're both trying to exit out the front of the stoppage, so it's easy to hold up.
Soro takes it out of the ruck. He's had enough. Gives it to Ethan Schumann. Gets loose of McGuinness. Over the top, Hughes to Gwynn. Inside 50. Steps one way, then the other. He's gone. Dylan Gwynn. He tried to get around the pursuing tackler, and Cassidy got him. And quick to move it to the inside, and Franks and Bilby will work it out. Bilby up the line to Putris. He turned further to the wing. Nothing was there for Putris. He darts this one into the corridor. Dangerous kick, Van Twest or Hibbins though, and Hibbins takes the mark. Quickly over the top, the handball was impeded on its way through. Franks back to Hibbins. Steps to the inside. The kick is low. It'll bounce. Pockney. Tackled by Dom Sullivan. Got the handball away. Thomas ran past the footy. Threw his head back in frustration, swore to the clouds. Inside out talk from Alessio. It cleared the zone momentarily. Putris takes the intercept mark, half forward. He's 55 metres out. Thomas is standing by himself in the left forward pocket.
Still on his own.
Putris short. Lukic in a one-on-one, slipped through his fingers, makes the rove and kicks the goal! Didn't have to think about it, Alex Lukic. And that may have helped. He's got 2. He was marking everything in the first half. It was his set shot conversion that was the problem. Couldn't take the contested grab there, but he made the rove himself and then in one motion snapped it through from the right forward pocket. And he's got a couple. And Collegians now in really good shape. They move on to 7-10-52 to 3-3-21. So it's a 31-point lead, the highest margin of the day. And Lukic has got a couple. Hugo Higginbotham.
Yeah, it's good to see. It's good to see. So he's got his second now, so monkey's off the back a little bit, but you're 100% right with that call, Paddy. He didn't have to think there, so he just acted, and that was great. So we'll expect to see him maybe just shake that little man that's been on his shoulder and talking about goal kicking to him. Now he's can focus on doing what he does really, really well.
So Collegians right now looking in really good shape. McGuinness out of the middle, kicked it into Hughes and Walker as they ran past. Walker grabbed the footy, gave it away to Bazzani, back to Walker, and now Putris on the outside to the right half forward. Lukic again didn't extend the hands to take the mark, picks up the footy in his boot laces. Fuller and Alessio were there for St Bernard's, and Alessio impedes Lukic in his run towards the goal. The ball goes out of bounds.
Very good below his knees, Lukic, for such a big man. He was nearly off then again, so he's got a lot of attributes. He's a very good player.
Yeah, he's been really handy for Collegians in a tricky year. Played every game, 36 goals. 22-year-old who's really warming into his work now as a senior footballer. Berardi takes it away from the back pocket. Thomas down in back play. McNichol in the contest, far wing. Liberatore roves it. Watson dispossessed by McGuinness. McNichol inches a kick beyond halfway, and Liberatore took a slick handball, gave it to Berardi, who was impeded by Ong without the football. A professional free kick almost given away, although the advantage taken, and Ethan Schumann from 50 or 60 metres kicks it long inside 50. Delizio took the spillage and kicked the goal.
Well done.
So he stuck with it. Nick Canny was on his case. He got the fist to it. Delizio head in a swivel, grabbed the rove before it touched the ground and towed it through from 15 metres out, and the instant response comes from St Bernard's. Their first goal since the 10-minute mark of the second term, and Delizio becomes their 4th individual goal kicker, 27 playing 52 here at the Snake Piece.
It was good build-up there by the Snow Dogs. They actually used a bit of run and carry through the middle of the ground. Berardi obviously got impeded there and then used the advantage, and it was just a one-on-one in their forward line. So away from congestion, and speed of ball movement was excellent. So that's really good. This is what we want to see, Paddy. A few goals.
Correct.
End of the ground.
Open game of footy.
It's great.
Around the grounds for Tobin Brothers Funerals in just a second, because Old Haileybury are looking in decent shape as well, as this ball is tied up in the middle of the ground. And we'll just hold on Raj Johnston for a moment as we'll get back to the contest. Soro and McGuinness. Again, Soro maybe had the arm held. He was appealing to the umpire. Nothing forthcoming. Hibbins, the clearance. Pinchbeck came out of the goal square. There's a roll change. Thomas, big tackle. After the footy is Pinchbeck, Fuller and Smith atop the football. Will be a stoppage inside 50 for Collegians, just beneath us. Lukic holding his face after that one.
Well, I thought he wanted to go free for high there. But anyway. Oh,
He's okay, Alex Lukic, into the ruck where he's tackled by Overman and brought to the deck rather viciously.
Yes, maybe doing that one. He felt that.
Yeah.
Still on the deck.
He's a bit sore here, Alex Lukic. Just helped up here by Pinchbeck and bent double, and then the poor bugger's put his hand up. He doesn't want to go on the ruck, Lukic, but he's going to have to against Soro. And he did okay, Lukic. He actually won the tap. Smith pushed off the football. Hughes tackled off it. Lukic waiting for on the outside, doing his own umpiring. The umpire disagrees and opts to throw it up instead. 20 metres out from the Collegians' goal. 25 points the margin here in the third term for Community Bank Keilor East. 9 minutes gone. Holland got on the outside. The handball was good from Harrison Schumann. He kicks it high down the scoreboard wing. McGuinness has 3 St Bernard's defenders all over him, and the ball is fisted out of bounds by committee. It was Watson and McNichol coming up a long way.
You did well there, Big Jonty, because there was quite a few solid bodies down there. But that just hasn't worked well for him today, the Snow Dogs, just with that long kick down the line, high kick to congestion.
Yeah, I've tried to find the corridor, but a few times just the skill errors have cost them, and then Collegians have looked in better intercepting shape down the line as Davey to Walker, tackled off the kick by Harrison Schumann. On comes through, keeps it into Jasper Davey. And that's kicks into my hands. I think just about it looked like it was Walker or Davey who tried to hack the ball down the line and instead just about kicked it into the pavilion where this rollicking function is only just picking up, Hugo.
Yes, it was really getting going behind us there, but that's okay. So it's a game of mistakes and turnovers to a certain extent, Paddy. It's one of you've got to capitalise on some of these things.
Back into play, Soro. McGuinness takes him off the footy. Holland, big tackle, McGuinness, rolled him through, and it gave him a little bit of afterwards. That's a tall man and a small man, yes. And Holland's just caught one, he reckons, in the neck here. He's bent double over. Yeah. He's pretty sore, Marcus Holland. Still on the ground here. McGuinness is jogged away from the contest, and Holland slowly to his feet. The umpire didn't give him a free kick, and we're back underway here at the Snake Pit. Soro straight down the throat of Hibbins to Thomas, who fended off a tackle from Liberatore and Alessio. Pisani, Davey to right half forward. Hibbins has snapped it backwards some 25 metres loose. It wasn't the greatest of ideas. Tongi and Watson come up to tackle. I don't know what Sam Hibbins' idea was, but it wasn't a particularly good one, unfortunately for him, and it's going to be tied up in the middle of the Snake Pit, so the attacking opportunity dissipates for Collegians, and back underway we are in the middle of the ground. 25-point leaders though the Lions, and Walker has Pisani on the outside. Gave to him by hand, he barrels it in the Thomas direction. Early body work on Caven. The number 5s did battle, and it was the man in purple, Dylan Thomas, who takes the mark, and he can go back from directly in front, 25 metres out.
He read that beautifully coming in, and he didn't actually push Caven there, even though it looked like he did. He pushed his body into him, held the space, and then moved back and took the mark. So a really good mark, considering the way that unorthodox barrel was coming in too, Paddy.
So Thomas, classy operator, 1 goal already today. Shouldn't have any issues from directly in front, 25 metres out. Salutes, and then actually salutes towards the family, I think, Dylan Thomas, and the 31-point lead is re-established here for Collegians. They're 8-10-58. St Bernard's 4-3-27. And it's a 31-point lead here for the Lions, as we might get down to Raj Johnston and around the grounds for Tobin Brothers Funerals. Raj?
Yeah, Haileybury's lead has blown out to 27 points, 9-4-58, plays 4-7-31, but the other 3 games are a lot closer. St Kevin's 7-6-48, the Blacks 7-5-47. Old Scotch 7-6-48 lead the Blues 5-13-43, and Old Brighton 7-9-51 lead the Zavs 5-10-40.
Thanks very much for that, Raj, as we're back underway here, and again Collegians. Cassidy with the footy, wanted Putris by foot, couldn't find him. Gwynn collides with Walker. Gwynn's down and sore momentarily. The umpire will call a free kick
for Putris. So Thomas and Lukic now with 2 goals. Collegians inside 50, Caven across the front. Lukic never had a chance. The ball trickles out of play. I'm liking that matchup better down there with Fuller on Lukic now. He seems to be playing him a lot better. First quarter, Lukic would have marked that, but he's starting to use his body better on him, Fuller. So that's a good contest down there. I'm liking that one. So very interesting. But Collegians seem to be having the better of the run of the ball at the moment. So for Community Bank Keilor East, it's a 31-point margin, equal game high
Here for the Lions, Soro out of the ruck, feeds it to Alessio, across half-back, he clears the zone, kicks it high for Gillum, Davey better position, tracks the footy back and gives it by hand to Oakley Kerr, who had a fumble and then got a bad bounce, and Berardi got the footy. Oakley Kerr, great tackle on Berardi.
He's kicked that on the full.
He threw it on the boot, Karan Berardi, to try and get it forward. He only succeeded in kicking it out of bounds on the full, and you can put that down to the pressure of Will Oakley Kerr. 20-year-old out of East Sandy and Wesley College, who's just trying to find himself a place in the senior squad. Deep inside 50, Lukic got it! Had the right positioning on Soro. And Lukic from left half forward, tricky angle, 40 metres out, has a shot at his third. Love to see the Premier Data run down on Alex Lukic's day and how many marks he's taken inside 50, how many of those have been contested. I reckon it's up to 6 or 7 now, Hugo.
It would be at least. He's stretching the calf out. So let's just... Look, this is a tough kick. 45 metres out, he'll kick from 45-degree angle, but he'll probably kick this one.
So Lukic, we're watching for that hitch in his run up. There it is. So he just seems to pause, then he gets started again, and he settles over the boot on his right, and he's kicked that out of bounds on the full. And he is feeling for that right calf. Yeah. Doesn't look totally right.
No, there's definitely something going on there. He's signaling to the bench here now, so yeah, he might have done the calf.
So Lukic saw Collegians still by 31 points here, halfway down on this third term for Community Bank Keilor East. Dom Sullivan runs his full measure from the restart and kicks it long for Soro and McGuinness to fight over from behind. McNichol went for a fly, couldn't bring down the footy. Overman, or Delizio it was rather, not McNichol. Should know, Ferg can't get up that high. He'll be balled up just beneath the scoreboard. I'll hear about that during the week. Sorry, Ferg. Neutral territory, scoreboard side wing. McGuinness taps it straight to Berardi, who feeds the leaper, and Delizio needs to get on the boot quickly. Kicks it inside 50. 2-on-1 favouring Collegians. Perry has Davey, or he might try and wade through himself. That's dangerous with Liberatore around. They work it out though, Collegians. Came to Bealby, who went to Davey, who kicked it to Putris, who marked it before Alessio could intervene. Yeah. And now Thomas is out with Ong. Inside 50, Ong spoiled away by Dom Sullivan, and D'Amico tracks it, picks it up. Loose numbers inside 50. D'Amico kicked it straight down the throat of Matty Watson though. And the St Bernard's defence lives to fight another day, and Matt Watson all the way back at fullback can go sideways here on the switch to Fuller, or kick it long down the far wing side. He picks the latter of the two options, and Mark's taken out there by Alessio.
Just noticing Lukic has gone to the bench now, and he's with the trainer at the moment, so let's get Raj onto that one.
Yeah, Raj is already lurking around the bench. So Holland now with the footy for St Bernard's on the far wing. Inside 50, nothing but purple jumpers. Bealby feeds it to Warren, who threw off the tackler and then spread it wide. Canny along the wing, far side again. Taken by Alessio though on the skip to Holland, who has Pinchbeck, who dispossesses him. Great tackle. The umpire calls him to continue, but Collegians won't mind that at all because Hibbins has got the footy. Dodged the Alessio tackle, just about an underhand shot. Got a fist to it though. It's a Smith, inside 50. Fuller belts it out of bounds. High arcing fist. He's had a good, I think, 2 quarters just about of footy after Lukic got away from him the first term, away from his whole defensive unit. Fuller.
Well, his day's just gotten better. I reckon Lukic is done with the hamstring. Well, Raj will let us know, but he's definitely still with the trainer. I can see a little bit of massage work going on there.
Yeah, we'll keep you updated on Alex Lukic's fitness. It's a 31-point Collegians lead, 58 playing 27, 17 minutes gone. Third term for Community Bank Keilor East. Smith down the wing, 2-on-1 again. Collegians with the man behind the footy, McGuinness, who didn't take the mark, but Bilby was his mate, gave it to Canny. Hibbins inside 50 will mark. And Canny found them in a pocket of space. And Sam Hibbins directly in front. He'll kick from 49 metres out for a 37-point lead.
Bit of advice from the balcony.
We are a 2-man commentary team today, so maybe we could have a second special comments man, Hugo.
Might have to put him on the breatho before we put the cans on him. I think he might fail.
Yeah, the function's going very well behind us. So Hibbins is directly in front. Hasn't got a goal today. This will be his 3rd on the season and just game number 5 for Sam Hibbins, who has pulled the kick at short. Oh, Hockney went for a fly. 2 hands, couldn't bring it down, off hands and through for a minor score. And Will Pockney down and sore after trying to take mark of the century on the behind line. It was all worth it though. Tom Sullivan the kick in, 27.59 now, 32 points. Davey belts the kick in out of bounds between wing and half forward for Collegians.
Yeah, I just noticed he's stretching What's he done there? I reckon a calf again as well.
We're talking about the grassy knoll. The calf sniper, I suppose, is out there today.
May very well be.
So he's continuing on. Will Pockney, who does have the left knee pretty heavily strapped. Thrown in between wing and half forward. Collegians in attack again. Kick forward was hacked and Liberatore's on the end of it for St Bernard's. So now a chance for them to press an advantage. High kick inside 50, a shallow entry as well. Tongi maybe jumped across of. The umpire says play on. Holland lays a tackle. Ethan Schumann, he is tackled by Cassidy in turn, and Gillum wants a forward stoppage, gets it. He'll be thrown up 45 metres out from the St Bernard's goal. Therefore 3:27, Collegians 8:10:58. The lead is 31 points. Equal game high. Rattle around at the bootlaces. Cassidy's got it. They've all got him. This is the story, really. Collegians have been able to find space over the back, Hugo, but not so St Bernard's.
No, it's been more forward half for Collegians this quarter as well. But the telling thing, Paddy, is 18 scoring shots to 7 today. So it probably gives you the indication for the game.
So any old way, farmed out by Liberatore. And again, they're just going to trap it in. So they've been good at this, Collegians. They've upped their contested side of the game when they have had to play a defensive half game, and then they've been able to find uncontested marks and 45 kicks when they've been moving the ball forward. So they've mixed the pace of it well. Franks clears the zone. D'Amico tackled by Alessio and pushed the back. He's unlucky there, Alessio, because D'Amico tried to go one way, then the other, then just stopped. And Alessio ran into him, and Thomas kicks it down the wing. Just kept in play by Pinchbeck, is it? No. Pinchbeck, Smith, and then Caven got into him. Went through Smith down, and Smith, I think, rather allowed himself to be thrown by Caven, and the umpire
didn't fall
said,
for that one.
all right, guys, you can have your moment. It'll be thrown in here, but just in front of the St Bernard's bench. Between wing and half forward. Just hearing that Geordie McKenzie might have stepped out of the coach's box to take a phone call from Arman Raj on the boundary. More on that in a second as this ball is held back into play. Delizio the handball. Franks is tied up by two Stowe Dogs. We might get down to Raj Johnston for Tobin Brothers Funerals. Raj?
Yeah, it might have been a bit premature for me. He's back in the coach's box, so it might not have been out to anything. But we'll keep an eye on him.
So the score, or the situation there, is that Geordie McKenzie is, in a few days' time, we expect about to become a father, and he's just awaiting the phone call from the hospital today. D'Amico, after the footy at half forward, burns away from Berardi, kicks it for Lukic, but the kick is too shallow, and Harrison Schumann chops it off. And Fuller's running into space on the far wing side. He's got Berardi in for company. Archer's after it to impose himself for Collegians. Alessio comes up. Davies got him, holds on for a long time and holds on illegally.
Yep. Never took possession. Berardi just been put down.
So Alessio will be rewarded. He's been super today for St Bernard's behind the football.
Yeah, it's been very good. He's doing a lot of good for his marking stocks as well, isn't he? He's getting plenty of it.
27 playing 58, 31 points is the Lions lead. McNichol now, centre half back on the bounce, the kick to Caven. Oh, went through his legs. Nick Caven, he redeems himself. He picks it up and he runs away from Hibbins. His kick is not good. Cassidy cuts it down. So Corey Cassidy, quickly Van Twest and Ong will wax along the boundary line now. Oakley Kerr, and he'll have the entry job. D'Amico is spare, one-on-one. McNichol back with the flight on Pockney, applied the spoil. Dom Sullivan cleans up for St Bernard's, clears the zone again. Oakley Kerr's in the scene. Back on the ground is Lukic. He's in the line here to receive it from Putris. On with the football. Through to Lukic now. Kicks a little sort of chip shot. Up in the air for D'Amico. His third attempt. Ball didn't carry the required. Lukic back with it. Thomas against the boundary. Swings it. Three Collegians players there. Bazzani, one of those. Schumann, that's Ethan, comes through. He's tied up. And we'll have a ball up top of the goal square. As we've got a player down on the bench. Raj Johnston on the scene. More of that in a second as this ball is in a dangerous spot here for the Lions. Watson coming down to do the relief ruck work. Gave it to Alessio, who kicks out of defensive 50. Soro clatters into the pack. Tongi roved it. Bilby down and saw. Perry takes the intercepting mark. 45 quick kick, and here come Collegians again. Davey always kicks a shocker. Holland cuts it off at centre half back. Bilby now being attended to by a trainer on the scoreboard wing. Plenty of work for Raj Johnston. Once there's a break in play, Alessio now with it. Over the top is Ethan Schumann. He's next up and he takes the mark.
Bilby's still down and he has not moved.
Yeah, he's bent double, looks hunched over, stretching out. Hopefully it's just he's winded and he's sucking in the big breaths. He looks to be trying to continue on as It's another turnover going inside 50 here for St Bernard's, which has just been the story of the day so far for Hit IQ, Hugo.
Yeah, it has. It's the type of entry as well. It's just always a long bomb and a kick and hope sort of scenario, whereas Collegians have been a lot more clinical when they've had control of the ball through the middle of the ground.
So they've got that now. So the ball's on the car park wing. And it's come now through Canny into the corridor.
This is what they've done all day.
Walker, Marks gave it to Davey. He ran a long way. Took a running bounce at 55 metres out. Then has a ping, Jasper Davey. Oh, he doesn't have the torque. Delizio running back saves the day. And he has kicked that through the behind line. So that's a rush behind. So he took the mark 3 metres out. Then kicked it through the behind line. And that's a rush behind after all of that. So 8-11-59. Collegians, 4-3-27 St Bernard's, 7 scoring shots to 19 is telling, 32 points the advantage once more. And from the kick in, another turnover, Ong to Pinchbeck, who'll run into goal, right foot drop, punt! He loves it, Pinchbeck.
Yeah, he does too.
He's got a couple.
What he has got is one of the best goal celebrations I've ever seen too. He gets very vocal and he gets both arms swinging. He really enjoyed that. It was good.
So at the 24.5-minute mark, it's Pinchbeck who makes it a 38-point lead, game high. For Community Bank of Keilor East, it's all Collegians, 10-11-71, leading St Bernard's 4-3-27. Hugo for Hit IQ.
Yeah, well, the Snow Dogs have not helped themselves and they just haven't been able to get the ball through half forward. It's been turned over way too many times. And then just that play we saw of that inside 45 by Collegians in the middle of the ground, run and carry through half forward, and we finish with a goal. So that's been the key for them all day, and here they go again.
Yeah.
Oh, Lukic.
So 5 of the last 6 again for Collegians. Lukic inside 50 was the target. McNichol with him. Franks is involved. McNichol handball through. Ryan couldn't pick it up. Still over the footy, Ryan. The umpire calls for it.
No Lukic is back out there, but he's looking very, very uncomfortable there. He's struggling to walk comfortably, let alone even run, and he's not mobile at all anymore, the big fella.
Free kick going the way of Collegians, St Bernard's rather, out of the throw-up. Soro with it, left half back. Just throws an arm out in frustration. Gives the handball to a stationary Dom Sullivan, who's just begging someone to come at him. Berardi is eventually his target. The kick clears him and Oakley Kerr. Berardi's after it. Oakley Kerr is quick. Stays with Berardi as he handballed forward, who is down and saw Berardi after the Oakley Kerr tackle.
Has not moved, Berardi.
Liberatore dispossessed. Collegians back the other way. They'll link up through the middle. Walker tried to feed it through to Ong. Ryan got himself involved. Still they come. Pinchbeck. Bazzani dodges Delizio. Toes it forward. Soro, the big man on the bounce, took the footy cleanly. Another Snowdog down who's raising an arm. I think Delizio saw now. And Gwynn involved, and the ball will be thrown up inside 50. Delizio is in a bit of bother here.
Yeah.
Gillam's trying to help him up, but he is in decent amount of pain. Left leg's the problem, holding I think his hamstring or quad, and he just couldn't get up from a laying position, Delizio, and he's now up, a trainer with him. Meanwhile, Karan Berardi being assisted on the boundary line, and Luke Delizio very sore. So Raj Johnston, we'll just briefly get down to you for Tobin Brothers Funerals. Karan Berardi, how is he?
Yes, just getting some treatment now. Keep an eye on him and keep you posted, guys.
Yeah, and Luke Delizio is the other one, and he has a trainer and a runner on either side of him, and he barely moved the left leg.
I think it looked a bit like a knee the way he was holding it. So just kept the leg very straight.
Yeah.
He's attempting to walk now, but looks like a lot of discomfort.
Yeah, initially it looked like maybe he was bending over and it could have been like a little quad or hamstring. We don't want to speculate, obviously, with Luke Delizio, who is now walking off the field and having to actually be carried as to not put any weight on his left leg. So that's not a great sign, unfortunately, for Luke Delizio.
Geez, it hasn't been a happy hunting ground for the Dogs here, this ground. Last time we were here, they ran out of a bench. It's not good.
So they've stopped the play. 27.5 minutes gone in the third term for Community Bank Keilor East. 27 playing 72. It's a 45-point lead for Collegians. If I've got that right. I don't know if my maths is correct these days, so that's right, 45 points.
Yeah.
So well and truly the largest lead of the game as we're back underway.
Math's not your strong suit.
Yeah, couldn't have guessed. Archer, centre half forward, flung off a couple of tackles. Pinchbeck up and under towards full forward. Walker backing back, should hold on. No, he spilt it down his front. Then picked it up, snapped on goal and missed. Was eyeing 2 off Campbell Walker. Couldn't find the major opening.
No. Could have taken that chest mark, but anyway, tried to make it hard for himself. But it's starting to build for the Collegians here. You know, we've only had 7 scoring shots for the Snow Dogs to 23 for Collegians, so it's starting to get a bit ominous.
That it is. Up the guts. The St Bernard's kick in. Davey the spoil. Pinchbeck the rove. The kick inside 50 or the bounce for Archer, who dodges one way, then the other. Feeds Van Twest. Outside of the right boot. Marked on the line by Dom Sullivan. So Dom Sullivan, who's playing last line back pocket, has had more of the footy than he would probably like. Unfortunately today. Hughes takes the mark. He's in the right back pocket, kicks it long down the line. Holland is the smallest man in the field and he's the target, and fading across the front, Canny takes the grab into the corridor. He goes again through Cassidy on the 45 to Hibbins in the centre of St Bernard's College. Next one is inside 50. You'd think he's got the running past option, and Davey, who breaks loose of Soro, then kicks it inside 50. Smith should take the intercepting mark for St Bernard's. So they are holding up for now, the Snow Dogs, but the damage has been done here by Collegians. Smith clears the zone along the line of the centre square. It bounced in the hands of Overman, who just kept on running and took a running bounce, and he's so confused about where to go. He goes backwards to Liberatory. There's nothing inside 50 for the Snow Dogs. No. Now Holland with it. He's 65 metres out. He thinks, I'm just going to have a ping. He might try and hope for the shooter's roll, as it were. He might be kicking just about for the boundary throw-in. Doesn't find it in the end. McGuinness, he'll handle it along the boundary line. Tom Sullivan fighting desperately. He ran a long way to impose himself. He applies a smother. He wins a stoppage inside 50 for his team. 30-minute mark of the third term for Community Bank Keilor East. St Bernard's 27, Collegians 73.
Well, this is the deepest it's been in the Snow Dogs forward line for a long time, Paddy. But I think it was Overman who had the ball in the middle of the ground, who didn't know what to do, because he was the deepest Snow Dog player and he was in the middle of the ground. He had nothing in front of him.
We might have a scoreboard error as things stand. I think we've only got 9 Collegians goals, not 10. But more on that in a moment as the Lions chain up through half-back, and it ends in the hands of Putris, who kicks it long to a one-on-one. Archer and Smith back with the flight they go. No one's ahead of this footy. Should Archer win it for Collegians? And he pats it to his own advantage along the boundary line. Smith wins the day. Feeds it to McNichol. He's going to go sideways. And now they'll go beyond halfway, the Snow Dogs. Car park wing side. The kick, though, was not great, and Van Twest cuts it off. Long again to Thomas. Oh. 2 hands, couldn't bring it down. Roves it off Soro. Dylan Thomas has 3.
Wow.
Burning and raving at end of day, Dylan Thomas snaps through a third. And the Collegians' advantage continues to be pressed. As we have it at the ground, 11-13-79, plays 4-3-27. 52 points is the margin at the 31-minute mark of the third term, thanks to Community Bank Keilor East. Raj Johnston for Tobin Brothers Funerals around the grounds.
Yeah, just a quick one from me, guys. Looking at the Uni Blues and Old Scotch game, just a 1 point in it. It's Scotch 7-9-51 to the Blues 6-14-50.
Cool. It's a game of footy and a half.
Is it ever?
Be keeping you abreast of all those results across the final term. Still to come, and we'll go inside Steve Alessio's huddle at three-quarter time to hear from the Premiership ruckman as Campbell Walker ties up Ethan Schumann in the middle of the ground. So 52 points the advantage. I'm just looking at Karan Barati walking up and down the bench, so he looks to be okay. Still no word on Luke Delizio. More on that in a moment as Campbell Walker back inside 50. Thunderous fist from Dom Sullivan. Clears defensive 50 for the Snowies, and Tongi and Hughes, and Dom Sullivan's kept on running here, and he might get on the end of the handball. He's 50 metres out. He dodges one way then the other. He feeds the handball looking for Tongi inside 50. Putris butters up well for Collegians, and on the slingshot they might get the Snow Dogs. Kenny Ong with a decision to make in the centre of St Bernard's College Oval. D'Amico's up the line. Lukic also, the mark taken by Ryan at left half back for the Snowies, and with 32 and a half down on this third term, we don't have long left, and Ethan Schumann takes the mark up the wing, just tracing the outer line of the centre square here. St Bernard's inch by inch towards the forward 50, just not been their day. Luke Delizio, injured, and we assume a day-ending injury for him. The kick inside 50 comes, and again the Collegians defence ready. Putris again, handball over the top, and Twest the handball once more, and they'll move it through.
Elite hands.
Archer inside 50. Lukic jogging to get to the footy. He could barely get out of second gear. Can Alex Lukic, but he can tackle and impede because Harrison Fuller lost control of the footy. Lukic breaks one tackle, handballs for D'Amico. The St Bernard's defence gets back and Alessio picks it up and wanders out of defensive 50. Another high kick, looking for Dom Sullivan, called out at it wisely, and Tongi takes the mark. 3/4 time. And it's all the Lions here at the Snake Pit. The score we have, 4-3-27 St Bernard's, 11-13-79 Collegians. It's been a big day, a fill-up day for the Lions as they fight for survival in top flight. It's the battle to stay out of ninth at the moment between St Bernard's, the University Blues and Collegians, and at the moment it's Collegians that look... Well, they look well set to stay in this competition. Hugo Higginbotham, let's go quickly to you for Hit IQ.
Gives you a good, Paddy. They've just fixed the scoreboard up, so it is 11-13. You were right on that. You've done... Geez, what's wrong with... There's nothing wrong with your maths. You're impeccable.
I wouldn't know about that. We'll check in with you on the other side of this. We'll hear from Steve Alessio, the coach of the Snow Dogs, and we'll get his view on things to 3/4 time at the Snake Pit after this.
Hey guys, at GYG we never compromise on the quality of our food. That's why we only serve 100% free-range chicken. We're on a mission to reinvent fast food. Because who said fast food had to be bad food? Love ya.
Is your club celebrating a player milestone? Let us know at VAFA Media and we'll feature it in the Amateur Footballer. We're always on the lookout for stories that acknowledge outstanding achievements and the clubs behind them. Email us at media@vafa.com.au.
Tickets are now on sale for one of the signature events on the VAFA calendar, the 2025 William Buck VAFA Finals Luncheon, held on Friday, September 5 at Zinc Fed Square. Join us as we celebrate the road to the VAFA and AFL Finals with 5-time Premiership player Dermot Brereton and 2-time Brownlow medalist Greg Diesel Williams. Secure your tickets today at vafa.com.au.
Are you looking to grow your business? William Buck are more than just accountants and advisors who can develop strategic growth plans for your business. With over 125 years' experience, William Buck has expertise in navigating through challenging times and has been working closely with the VAFA community, creating positive change for individuals, businesses and community organisations. William Buck's team of specialist advisors work collaboratively, providing you with 360 support. Schedule a complimentary consultation today by visiting williambuck.com. Would you like to get more closely involved with footy and enjoy the unique camaraderie and bonds that exist in and around footy clubs? VAFA clubs are always looking for volunteers to assist with the weekly running of the club, both on and off the field. Log on to vafa.com.au and check out our club directory to find a club near you.
Listen in to the award-winning VAFA William Buck Premier Men's SEN Match of the Day this Saturday afternoon on SEN's new no-delay streaming product, SEN Stadium. That's VAFA Footy, live with no delay, Saturday from 1:45pm. Listen via the app.
3/4 time at the Snake Pit. It's St Bernard's 4-3-27, Collegians 10-12-72. 45-point leaders into 3/4 time and doing it very nicely indeed. Away from home, the goal kickers, Dylan Thomas has 3, Max Pinchbeck and Alex Lukic with 2 apiece. Campbell Walker, Will Putris, Jimmy Archer, the single goal kickers for the Lions. Singles only for St Bernard's, Luke Delizio, Fergus McNichol, Gillum and Holland. So 27 playing 72. We'll hear from Steve Alessio in just a few moments' time as he finishes up a very early address of his footballers after a pretty poor third term, it must be said. 1 goal straight to St Bernard's to 5 goals to for Collegians, who led it by 11 points at quarter time, by 19 points at half time, and then have blown this game wide open to lead it by 45 points at 3/4 time. We'll go around the grounds with Raj Johnston for Tobin Brothers Funerals in just a moment. Paddy Grindlay with you this afternoon. Hugo Higginbotham for Hit IQ is the best eye in amateur footy, and it just feels like Collegians have made their move, and feels like right now that they've won this game of footy, and now it's a view towards the run home just to stay out of that ninth spot.
Yeah, certainly. They've been fantastic the way they've moved the ball. But you know, they put 200 and something games of experience back into that side, and you can see that. You can just see it. They're very calm and composed through the middle of the ground. They're using their 45, the overlap run, the run and carry has been excellent. And I'm really liking I'm really liking Thomas in front of goal. He's omnipotent down there. Oh, that's a horrible word, Paddy. I can't believe you made me say that.
Let's go down to Raj Johnston. He's got the coach of St Bernard, Steve Alessio.
Thanks for your time, Steve. A passionate address at three-quarter time. What was the message to the boys?
Oh, look, just pretty disappointed with our effort in that third quarter. We just got an important last 3 or 4 games ahead of us now, and somehow we've just got to get our game going. So, just trying to fire up the boys a bit to try look at dig deep, look at each other in the eye, and just try get some real game run in our game and some exciting footy, because at the moment we're playing pretty boring static footy and it's really hurting us.
Thanks, Steve. Back to you guys.
Thanks to Raj Johnston and Steve Alessio. Our huddle report coming from Community Bank Keilor East, providing award-winning financial products and services and committed to returning profits to local communities. A bit of fire and brimstone from Steve Alessio.
Yeah, well, you can have that, but you need a solution to implement a change. And the solution has to be they have to address their ball movement. It's just he did say correctly that they're just very stagnant, because they get the ball, they don't have a lot of lateral options or anything. It's always long and down the line, and that's a problem because it's too easy to pick off. And then on that, as soon as the ball clears, they need to get into a defensive position because they're just getting picked apart through the middle of the ground. So you've got to take away the options from the opposition, and Collegians are very good at using the easy option. So they find that spare player and they get a good overlap. So you've got to cut that off at the source. So it's pressure on the ball carrier and pressure on the first easy option.
For Tobin Brothers Funerals, let's go around the grounds with Raj Johnston once more.
Thank you, Paddy. Our top of the table clash at Brighton Beach Oval. Old Brighton 66 leading the Zavs by 24 points. A very close one at the Uni Main. It's Old Scotch 51 to the Uni Blues 50. We'll be keeping an eye on that. Old Haileybury 59, well ahead of D-Lar 37. And St Kevin's 73, up by 14 points against the Uni Blacks 59.
Interesting stuff. Thanks very much to Raj Johnston for that one. So our final term coming up for Care Plus Auto Services, where you can contact Mitch and the team for a premium vehicle service at 27 Racecourse Road, North Melbourne. Hugo Higginbotham, you've spotted something at the start of this term?
Yeah, well, the Snow Dogs have actually got an interesting setup. They put 2 out on the wing, so they've taken one of the forwards up and they're leaving one of the Collegians defenders just to be +1 in their own forward line.
Yep, so Corey Cassidy is set up all by himself. Just wondering what went on there. I think the goal umpire's just signalled a behind to start this final term, so maybe a little correction to the scoreboard. Not quite sure what went on there, but anyway, regardless, we're underway for Care Plus Auto Services in the final term, and it's off the back of the square. Collegians once more. Cassidy to the chest of Dylan Thomas, who has 3 and might think about a 4th. No, he'll go for Lukic instead. Tried to bring the ball down. Did so to D'Amico, who's got Putris behind him, and D'Amico will take the tackle. 27-72. 45-point lead for Collegians here in the final term for Care Plus Auto Services. Ball back in the air. Hughes laying a tackle. D'Amico running towards the boundary line. Pulls the left foot snap across the body and didn't hit it with any sort of conviction, and Fergus McNichol takes the mark at full-back. Moves the ball up to Soro, floats across the front, takes the mark at right half-back, and this is the issue here for St Bernard's. There is nothing ahead of the football. He hands it off to a running past option, Soro. It's a high up and under Watson. Up and under Watson with 2-on-1, and Bealby comes across the front. That's the easiest intercept mark he'll have all day.
Yep. And that's just been the story of the day, Paddy.
Yes.
And here we go, the Collegians with overlap run through the middle of the ground. So this is just, look, it's a training run. It's going to script.
Yeah, Smith involved to Hibbins, and then the kick inside 50 by Van Twest was cut off in turn. So a little bit of kick-to-kick between the arcs. It's just not risen to great heights, really, out of the back half today for St Bernard's, especially. Alessio in a one-on-one with Perry in front of the Collegians bench. 0-0 draw, the ball goes out of bounds, it'll be thrown in 65 metres out from the Collegians goal.
What they have done, the Collegians, is they've probably pulled the trigger on their entry a little bit too early a few times. They probably need that one more possession through the middle of the ground for that deeper entry.
Yeah, it's been Van Twest who they've sought for the handball option quite frequently. We did hear from Steve Alessio during the week that he was a player that the Snow Dogs had thought about putting some work into. There's a free kick going the way of Soro, who's really fought hard in the ruck today against McGuinness, and then run well all across the ground. Alessio, big leap from behind, got nowhere near it and gave away a free kick instead. So that's a shift. Alessio playing a bit further up the ground, trying to get his involvement. Oh, the switch kick was no good. Over the top of Bazzani, did absolutely nothing for him. Taken by Ethan Schumann, 55 metres out. He doesn't get the bounce. It's through for a behind. 4-4-28, St Bernard's 10-12, 72 Collegians, 90 seconds or a tick over down in this final term for Care Plus Auto Services. As the man with no opponent in this final term, Corey Cassidy, takes the kick in and easy as you like, hits up Hibbins through half back, and he might switch this to Warren, I suspect, over the top of the lunging arms of Matt Watson. Warren, game number 71 in the seniors for him. Thomas, that's a helicopter into the centre of St Bernard's College Oval, where neither Snowdog can mark it. D'Amico fashioned some sort of kick. It fell to the chest of Pitchbeck, deep inside 50. It's going to work out. Pockney back with the flight, takes the mark directly in front, 35 metres out. Don't think you can quite credit the deliberate score involvement there for D'Amico, but he did very well indeed to tow the ball through. And Pockney's on the end of it. He'll have a shot from directly in front.
He did. So once again, that build up through the middle of the ground, and you have these days when things just work for you. And there's no right to get the foot to that ball in the air and for it to hit the target, but it happens. So it's they move the ball coast to coast very well, Collegians.
Yeah, they've made a big ground look small today with how quickly they've moved the ball. Directly in front is Pockney, 35 metres out.
Beautiful execution.
Dices it through.
Very, very good shot on goal there. But before that, I think it was Putris who guarded the space for Pockney really well there, so he could come back and take that chest mark, and then a beautiful execution on goal. So it's just not the Snowdog day.
No, and it's a 50-point advantage now for Collegians. We know St Bernard's have the second worst percentage in the Ammos, ahead of D-Lar. This won't help, but to be frank with you, it probably won't matter. As we watch how the end of the season develops, we'll be checking in frequently with that old Scotch University Blues game, which will decide, you'd imagine, the fate of St Bernard's as far as relegation promotion goes, at least for tonight's ladder, as the kick inside 50 for St Bernard's, and Watson turns spoiler inside 50. Warren wanders through. Hughes, despairing tackle, gave it to a man under pressure, did Warren and Hibbins. He was tackled by Hughes, and sore is Hibbins. We'll get back to that in just a second. Tongi, big tackle inside 50. Holland and Hibbins getting to their feet. So it'll be thrown up left forward pocket. No issues there for Hibbins or Holland. So both good to continue. Watson into the ruck against McGuinness. Down to Luca Alessio, who spins through and he's tackled to the deck. The umpire will do it again. That's one move maybe for Steve Alessio, who's throwing his son Luca into the front half. He's going to try and get on the move here. Watson tackled down to Alessio. He hikes it into the sky from behind. Schumann's going to go in a one-on-one with Bazzani. That's Harrison. Pursues it now at ground level. Warren blocks him out of the way. Bazzani didn't take the ball cleanly. Cassidy did. Spun through Liberatore. Tackled him off the footy. Cassidy goes again. Gave it to Canny. Gave it to Bazzani across half-back and Pinchbeck, and now wander on through. This is clean stuff, and Franks through centre half forward, vision. Kicks it high inside 50. It didn't take a kind bounce though for Archer. There was McNichol. He's got some mates, and Caven for St Bernard's kicks it far side wing. Up and under kick. Harrison Schumann takes the mark into the corridor. Gillum on the run, plays on, goes short for Dom Sullivan.
Much better.
Marks 55 metres out.
Just that lateral ball movement. First time for the Snowdogs of the day, middle of the ground.
Watson in a one-on-one with Perry. That's where James. He might try and usher this one through Watson, and does.
What a goal.
And Dom Sullivan brings out the driver from 55 metres out. He clears the line, and St Bernard's gets its fifth. 5-4-34. Not much celebrating though. To 11-12-78, back to a 44-point game. And we can see that Scott Bilby's unhappy about something. He was down for a long time.
He's a very fiery character.
Taking up the argument with Dom Sullivan, and geez, there's a pretty animated discussion going on between the official Dom Sullivan and Scott Bilby. 44 points is the lead here for Collegians.
He's had a lot of dialogue with the umpires today, Bilby. On first name basis.
So Sullivan kicks his first of the afternoon at the 6-minute mark of the final term for Care Plus Auto Services. Repeat stoppages again in the middle of the ground. It's quite a really animated discussion, like a lot of pointing, a lot of...
It's still going. I'm watching it.
Yeah, so Scott Bilby unhappy about something.
Yeah.
Back again we go in the middle, and as has been the case quite frequently this afternoon, it's the umpire forced into successive ball ups. So the moves for Steve Alessio, they're numerous. Alessio forward, Dom Sullivan forward. Don't see much of Tommy Sullivan. He's starting at half forward with Nick Tongi as well. Van Twest got the handball fed back to him by Putris and kicks it up to Walker, a little bit further on the far side wing. Back to Van Twest in the chain, hangs the kick up a touch inside 50. Easy job there for Harrison Schumann. Comes into the corridor and hits his brother Ethan, and they're out actually here through Liberatore. So he takes the mark, plays on, a bounce in the blink of an eye, inside 50 for Watson, who Bilby back and got absolutely eviscerated by Watson the other way. He gets a free kick for his trouble, Bilby. Watson cannoned into the small of his back, and if Scott Bilby wasn't already in a bad mood, he will be now. Go short to Cassidy and over the top to Hibbins through half back. Collegians again opting for the 45 kick. They've got the corridor through Van Twest, who is racking up the disposals. 19.6 for him a game this year, up to Pinchbeck, who has a couple of goals inside 50. Oakley Kerr, well, I mean, if you were being kind, I think, to Pinchbeck, you'd suggest the kick was intended for him, but it looked like it came off the ankle and bounced out of play harmlessly, 48 metres out from goal.
That was a missed kick every day of the week. Anyway, it's turned out all right. They get a chance with the stoppage here in the forward line.
Once we get it out of here, we'll check in with Raj Johnston on the Blues-Scotch game, as this one will be thrown back in. Dangerous position here for Collegians. We're just doing it ever so nicely here. Took advantage across the middle quarters and got a 44-point lead. Hibbins marks a mangled kick from the contest, 58 metres out. Beautiful kick inside 50. D'Amico, he came up to meet it, fading across his front. Schumann. That's Harrison. Did really well to track that footy and then fed it to Dom Sullivan on the far side wing, car park side. Goes for Tommy Sullivan inside 50. Kicked it behind him. Perry takes the mark, takes the ball on the bounce rather. Through Hibbins and Ong and Davey, they work it out. The kick across to Oakley Kerr, intercepted though by Mitch Hughes of St Bernard's. He'll go inside 50, wants Watson on the lead. He was bodied out of it initially there by Warren. He's got help now in Perry. Watson picks it up, rolls it on the left foot and rolls it home.
Look at that.
It's a goal that deserved a bit more celebration from the St Bernard's players. But Matty Watson, who had to first rid himself of an A-grade defender in Warren and then imposed himself on the contest and got the ball in the left shoe and rolled it home. His first for the day.
He actually kicked it end on end, so he kicked it forward. So that was a great execution there, but the physicality was amazing. And that intercept in the middle of the ground and then speed of ball movement coming forward and just the physical presence there just got through, and excellent skills.
Yeah, so Watson and Sullivan, two more single goal kickers. They joined Delizio, McNichol, Gillam and Holland as those to put ones through for the Snow Dogs this afternoon, as Hong was the intended recipient of the handball from Franks. It missed him, and again St Bernard's inside 50. Tongi comes up to meet it, breaks the Davey tackle, feeds it over the top. Ollie Liberatore one way then the other on the left boot, drags it across the front. Dom Sullivan, big fly, couldn't bring the ball down. Taken by Franks, who quickly moves it through Smith and Warren, and he's got Cassidy. And Cassidy actually just entirely stops and hits the short kick to Oakley Kerr through left half back, and one more over the top, and Putris takes the mark. So this has been a nice little period here for St Bernard's. They've kicked 2 goals in a row through Dom Sullivan and Matthew Watson. Long kick down the line. Soro was the target. He had McNichol as well. It'll be locked up beneath the legs, and it'll be thrown up attacking side of the wing here for St Bernard's. Let's get down to Raj Johnston, who's got an eye on that University Blues Old Scotch game. Who's leading that one at the moment, Raj, for Tobin Brothers Funerals?
10 minutes into the final term, Paddy. It is Scotch. Oh, sorry, the Blues have just kicked one right as I do this. So it is the Blues 56 to Scotch 53, 11 minutes into the final term.
Oh, what a game.
It's real close. So the Blues right now on the live ladder, we'll have to try and figure one out, but they right now would be out of the relegation zone. And St Bernard's on the live ladder on 9th. With a few weeks to go in the season, so there's a challenge ahead for Steve Alessio's men as Luca Alessio takes a mark on the far side wing. At the moment they're 38 points down. Alessio for Watson inside 50, Davey backs back, no one can mark the footy. Liberatore dangerous, Watson took the ball, kicks it out real wide, not a great kick. Tongi picks it up, he's tackled by Smith, got it away into Gillam, who kicks it into the pocket, and Liberatore's held on. Reeled it in with the 1 mitt. Now he's right up against the boundary, right beneath us. in the left forward pocket. So he can step around onto the right boot and snap it across the body and cut the margin back to 32 points.
He's going to do it. He's going to run around.
So really important that he kicks this. Soli Liberatore gets
the goal
and bends it through.
Great goal.
So St Bernard's 3 in a row. Got it back to 32 points. We've gone about 12 minutes in this final term here at the Snake Pit. Not without a shot here. It's a long way back, but they are a team that can score quickly. Let's see. 32 points the margin.
Well, there's still plenty of time, Paddy. We've got at least about 18 or 19 minutes, I would imagine. And those moves that Steve Alessio's made have come to fruition and are working really well for them.
Yes, it's a 5-man forward line at the moment for the Snow Dogs with one off the wing. Ong wins the clearance for Collegians though and kicks it through centre half forward again though. Ryan just wades his way through for St Bernard's. Quickly to centre half forward. Alessio from behind. Bilby.
Good mark.
Strong in front of him. He's had a good game, Scotty Bilby. He's going to spread it. Gillam's going to back here. He has to impose himself. He does so illegally. So free kick going the way of Pockney beneath the scoreboard. In the long shadows now here at St Bernard's College Oval. 46 plays 78. It's been Collegians since the 16-minute mark of the first term with the lead. Pinchbeck's got it now. He's got 2 of their 11 goals this afternoon. Drives it inside 50. Caven takes it off the pack. Handball intended for Tongi. Didn't get there. D'Amico cut it down. Fuller will take it out of bounds. Didn't really disguise his intention, but the umpire won't punish him.
Didn't have many other options there.
Raj Johnston, just briefly for Tobin Brothers Funerals, the other results around the grounds, please.
Yeah, TH King at St Kevin's 12-8-80 to the Uni Blacks 10-8-68, 10 minutes into the final term, and Old Scotch have just taken the lead back 59-56.
A rollicking contest, and you can watch it unfold on VAFA TV as St Bernard's try and feed it through centre half forward. It comes unstuck and taken by Kenny Ong, who gets the roll. He snaps it through. It's back to 44 points. And Kenny Ong, who started this game so well, it's only fitting that he just snuffs out a little bit of the St Bernard's comeback attempt. He's got 1. Collegians have 12. And the lead, 12-12, 84 to 7-4, 46. Back to 38 points.
No, they just they find a way. Collegians, they're a very, very good football side. They use the ball really well around the middle of the ground. They never go for a long kick down the line. They always find that option, that inside 45. But that was an amazing execution by Kenny on goal there. It would have been about 40 metres away from goal and just kicked it around the corner. So we've had a couple of great goals in the last few minutes, Paddy.
We have. It's opened up a little bit after half-time.
Had to. Jeez, it was stagnant early.
It's a pretty contested thing in that second term especially. Hong's got it again. Feeds it all the way back to the half-back line. Bilby had to actually turn around, run it back, and then he went for the left foot pass and missed his shoe. Scott Bilby has missed his shoe. Harrison Schumann has it at the intersection of the 50-metre arc, the boundary line. On cuts it off, and that is a beautiful drop punt to McGuinness, and it's opened up the entire ground for Collegians as a result. Davey on the switch can bring it back across the body on the 45, and it's good work here to Pockney, and he's going to turn. Has the handball option in Davey, instead fakes out McNichol and then kicks it deep inside 50. Fell over, and Caven has just booted the ball 55 metres as a volley. He's given away 50. He gave away the free kick that was already paid, and Mick Caven has made it a sure thing. And D'Amico, I think, will be rewarded. No, Thomas.
Absolute frustration.
So Dylan Thomas is about to kick his 4th, which is an equal season high. He's at the top of the goal square. This would be for goal number 23 on the season for the Big V nominee of 2025. And I reckon there's a fresh new pair of skins coming this week for Dylan Thomas. He's got 4 goals for Collegians.
You read my mind, Paddy. That's exactly what I was just thinking.
13-12-90 plays 7-4-46. We're halfway down to the final term. That's all thanks to Care Plus Auto Services.
Well, before Dylan Thomas kicked that goal, I was thinking, geez, Kenny Ong's had a good game from start to finish, but Dylan was kicking 4. But he's been very good up the ground as well. He hasn't just played that roll down forward, but kicking 4 is a very good effort.
Yeah, so previously this year, Dylan Thomas, he kicked 4 against De La Salle back in round 11. But aside from that, he's usually a single goal kicker who plays off that wing, but he has been so damaging today for the best for Dylan Thomas. left footer out of Point Cook, and then Ashburton and the Oakley Chargers. A few VFL games for Collingwood and Coburg and Williamstown along his footy journey. He's been a bit of a journeyman. Inside 50 again for Collegians, and Thomas might be thinking of a season high 5 if he can get on the end of another one. Franks is around the place. A free kick going the way of McNichol, who tackled Pockney well and wins the footy back on half back for St Bernard's, and gives it off to the man who with the indiscretion recently in Caven. He might have a sore foot after volleying the ball 60 metres, giving away 50. The kick down the car park wing comes unstuck and taken by Putris, who fakes out Holland. The attempted handball, kicks it inside 50. It's an up and under. It's picked out by McNichol down there again. So 46.90 for Care Plus Auto Services. McNichol, and kicks through half-back, will work out okay. And Liberatore is all by himself in the centre circles and takes the mark. And Tongi's running past at pace, so he dropped the footy as it was handballed to him. And it was taken by Van Twest, who goes back at the Thomas direction, who leapt early. Caven did well, though. Takes a contested grab. Number 5's doing battle into the middle. Hibbins, he was well positioned, didn't take the mark, and then will tackle Alessio, ties it up. Attacking side of the centre circles for St Bernard's. 11 scoring shots to 25, Hugo, I think, tells the story today.
Certainly does, Paddy. They've had far more opportunities, and it could have been a lot worse had they kicked better, Collegians. But they've owned the middle of the ground today. Every time they use the ball laterally into side 45, and St Bernard's just haven't arrested that. They just haven't stopped that run through the middle of the ground.
Soro pushed over by McGuinness, who's raging after this football, the ruckman. The big sail boy, he went for a trot. And he gave away a free kick, I think, to Angus Ryan. You can hear the calls from the St Bernard's faithful straight up the guts. That's where Angus Ryan goes. Bealby's well positioned on Dom Sullivan. Liberatore Robes gave it to Ethan Schumann. Sticks a kick in the Alessio direction on Perry. Alessio's got it. Perry sprinted back to try and impede Alessio's run, but he's got strong hands, does Luca Alessio. He takes the mark. He'll have a shot from right half forward, 30 metres out.
Yeah, he's been in double digits for marks today, Alessio. He's been excellent at either end of the ground, so this would be a nice way for him to finish off the day with the goal. But he's a very good player.
The only issue with Luca Alessio is that there's only one of him today.
There's 3 of him.
You do have young Max and Alex Alessio coming through, as Luca Alessio has missed to the left-hand side. Very handy footballer indeed. He's done some great stuff for Port Melbourne VFL this year, and he straightens St Bernard's up in the defensive half when he comes back to play VAFA footy. Coached by his dad, Steve, of course. Great family, the Alessios. One kick through right half back for Collegians, and easy mark in the end for Cassidy, who held his positioning well on Gillum. He's been good today, Dan Gillum, the 19-year-old. Only senior game number 3 for him, but finding his feet at top flight level. Cassidy down the line, and Tongi will punch it out of play, although there might have been a hold before he got a hand to that, going the way of St Bernard. So Fuller or Tongi, take your pick. It'll go to Nick Tongi beneath the scoreboard. So 43 points the margin at the 19-minute mark of the final term for Care Plus Auto Services. Collegians in command, as they have been all day. The kick inside 50, Watson. Right, one-handed by Hughes, who runs against the boundary line, has a ping on the right, drop punt approach, and he misses narrowly to the left-hand side.
Beautiful piece of roving there.
It was served up to him by Watson.
It was.
He's worked his guts out today, Mitch Hughes, usually off half-back. Has spent some time on a midfield rotation. Margin down to an even 7 kicks as we approach time on here in Essendon's West. Raj Johnston, we might get down to you for an update for around the grounds for Tobin Brothers Funerals.
Paddy, full-time at Waverley Oval. Old Haileybury going home 37-point winners over Dewa. Uni Blues 1 point over Old Scotch, 62-61, 20 minutes into the last quarter. And the Blacks have kicked one to be trailing the Scobbers by 6 points, 17 minutes into that quarter.
Oh, big day for the uni sides. And a reminder, you can watch that Old Scotch University Blues clash on VAFA TV if you're so inclined, as inside 50 again, Collegians. Caven fights off 3 Lions and feeds the handball through. St Bernard's the other way, a long kick in the Soro direction, who's got Putris in front of him, who'll punch it out of play for another throw in. It's a close run thing at Melbourne University Oval. So if the Blues win and Collegians continue to win today, and we can expect with 7 goals up into time on that they will probably take the 4 points
I think they might.
from the Snake Pit. So if the Blues win and if Collegians win, it will be St Bernard's into 9th tonight, as we've got a blood rule here.
What if it's a draw, that Blues one? That'll be interesting.
Oh, that will change things substantially, because we already have a couple of draws in the bottom part of the ladder. I think the Blues have got 2, St Bernard's and Collegians with 1 apiece, which has really mucked things up as far as the ladder predictor side of things goes. St Bernard's their next few games. Old Scotch away, Old Haileybury at home, St Kevin's at home. Collegians, the Old Zavs at home, Old Brighton away, and then De La Salle at home to finish the year. So pretty tough run homes for both our sides today. To be frank with you, as Archer has the ball, across centre half forward for Collegians, pinch back inside 50 for Hibbins. Directly in front, Sam Hibbins should put this through the middle.
So if the Blues draw, which is highly possible, they're very good at that, they've had a few.
Yes.
They'll be on 22 points. St Bernard's will stay on 22 points, but Blues with a superior percentage.
Yes.
We keep talking about this percentage. It's very important for these things, Patrick. It's interesting. Geez, it's going to be some red-hot games in these next 3 rounds. How exciting is it? What a season we've got.
Get the Uni Blues and the Uni Blacks on the SEN match of the day next weekend as well, which will be crucial for both those sides as the Blues try and avoid relegation. The Blacks try and make finals. Meanwhile, Sam Hibbins on approach, 48 metres out, directly in front, has kicked it wide and short. The ball is batted back into play and still they roll. Collegians with the rove, Thomas with the footy. Surely not could he go for 5. He lost control of it. He's socking it off the ground to Franks. He could do no wrong, Dylan Thomas.
No.
He's a poet with the football. And Franks now with the shot at goal, right half forward, 35 metres out.
Well, it's just everything he touches. So that's amazing. So he's got amazing skill. He's proficient both sides of the body. Very handy player.
So Franks, tricky angle, 45 degrees to right half forward, but the kick is 35 metres, and this would be for a 14th for Collegians. And to extend the margin to 48 points flat. Just on his approach now. He's a right footer, just underkicked it a little bit, I suspect. He misses to the right-hand side. Raj Johnston, back down to you. Any updates from the University Oval?
Paddy, it is the Blues 63, leading Old Scotch 62. That one is remaining very close, 24 minutes in. And the margin is still 6 points at TH King Oval, St Kevin's lead.
I'll tell you what I've done, Raj. I've just put the stream on the laptop here in the commentary box, so we'll be able to throw down to you when something dramatic happens. And I suggest there'll be a few behind us in the club rooms of the St Bernard's Persuasion doing the same as St Bernard's through half-back, just trying to get through to the end now. Maybe a couple of goals to save some face. Hughes down the line as the target. The kick is too long for him and out of bounds on the full.
Now, Paddy, you've got a great memory. Mine's horrible. Was it the Blacks who had the shot after the game to beat St Kevin's?
Kicked 3 goals, I think, in 4 minutes at the finish of the game, and Joel Ernest kicked the winner with seconds remaining.
There you go.
So they've been in that position before, the Blacks. There's Collegians with the footy. Hibbins to Van Twest, far side wing. Runs his distance, kicks it inside 50. Reaching was Lukic. Franks roves it beautifully. Gave it to Pockney. Flung off the tackle. Back to Lukic. 1-step snap. That might suit him. No. Out of bounds on the full. Alex Lukic, who has 2 goals. We thought he was on for a massive day, especially in that first quarter where he's marking everything.
Just watching him now, he's definitely still carrying something. He's looked very, very uncomfortable ever since that you see, he can hardly ever run.
Yeah, he's not moving in a way that's, very convincing, Alex Lukic. But he's fought hard despite all that.
He has. Fought those demons in his head earlier.
Oh, yeah. And the ones in his calf as well. So ball up inside 50, 45 metres out for Collegians. Archer just sort of shinned it forward into the mess of bodies that pile upon the Sherrin. 24 and a half gone, 43 points the lead. As I think the University Blues Old Scotch game, I think a Blues player is having a shot at goal, which might give them a 7-point advantage as we're back in the air with St Bernard's through half-back. The kick towards the scoreboard side, and Dom Sullivan, if it bounces towards him, he toes it to himself off the ankle, and Dom Sullivan, he just needs a target ahead of the footy. Nothing's going for him, so he uses up Gillum, who gets on his bike, goes back to Dom Sullivan, who takes it on the bounce, runs his full measure, kicks it deep inside 50 for Watson. It's through the hands of Perry. Out the back, Alessio, one way than the other, spins around, snaps on the right foot. Alessio got it.
Well done.
So Luca Alessio, some reward for him. He's been really impressive today. He gets his first. He's played at both ends of the ground. And let's check back in with Raj Johnston.
Good news for Uni Blues, they've goaled, so 69 plays 62, 7-point lead, 26 minutes into the final term.
So the University Blues by 7 points at the 26-minute mark of the final term over Old Scotch. On the live ladder, St Bernard's are in 9th position. We'll go around the grounds for the other results in just a few moments' time. As Alessio kicks his first, and we've got Tommy Sullivan making his way off the ground very slowly indeed as well for St Bernard's. Although for Tommy Sullivan, that's quite quickly because he does have the athletics background, which nearly led him to representing the country at international level. So Alessio kicking his first a few moments ago. We're at the 26-minute mark of the final term now, with 54 playing 91. And it's Collegians in command, as they have been pretty much from the jump today on the road. Hughes after the footy in the centre square. Neutral territory, maybe attacking side for Collegians. Walker's on top of him, and the umpire's seen enough. 8:6:54 to 13:13:91. Time still for Dylan Thomas's fifth, and maybe for the Lions to crack the ton. Ong's got to try and do that. He kicks it inside 50. D'Amico tracks the footy. He'll be beaten to it. It's taken there by Fuller, who handballed over the top. Berardi after it now goes back to Fuller, who weaved his way through. Sold some candy to Smith. It did well, did Harrison Fuller, though the kick down the line is picked off by Davey. Just in between the benches. Davey very slow to his feet here. Might go with a handball, I suspect, to Pinchbeck, who is quickly closed down by Dom Sullivan on the mark. The handball chain to Van Twest works okay. Jasper Davies down in back play and really sore as the Collegians run continues to Pinchbeck again, who dumps the kick shallow inside 50. Hughes takes the intercepting grab. And
that's a shoulder.
Yeah, that right shoulder of Jasper Davies that is heavily strapped. He's just run off, carrying it not well at all. And in fact, he's just fallen down in pain on the boundary line, which is, well, that's a terrible result for Collegians. In the last few minutes of the game, Jasper Davey with a shoulder injury, currently off the ground and in absolute agony. We might get Raj to check in on him. McNichol, meanwhile, with the footy in the centre of St Bernard's College Oval, sends a mongrel punt inside 50. The spoil by Canny might favour Liberatore, who balances the kick for Gillam. That's not carried the required. Gillam plays on. Left foot snap towards goal. It bends. It's missed on the siren. It'll count as a score. St Bernard's will move to 8-7-55. The full-time score for the Snowies. 13-13-91 though for Collegians, and they've won this one by an even 6 goals, the Lions, and they'll continue on their way. They've had good form since the double bye. It's their first win since the break, but it's been a much improved performance by Geordie McKenzie and his men, and they win this one by 6 goals. Our Skins player of the day wins a pair of cutting-edge Skins compression tights, thanks to Skins, the pioneers of compression. And Hugo Higginbotham, I'm going with Dylan Thomas as my nomination.
Absolutely. His game was excellent today. It's a slightly different role for him, gone deeper, but geez, he's electric around goals. And I think, Paddy,
yes,
around the ground, something
we might get to that on the other side of Dylan, because there's going to be some serious results as we get through. Actually, Raj Johnston, do you have your phone in front of you? Can you give us some Tobin Brothers funerals around the grounds on the way out to chat to Dylan Thomas?
Yeah, some interesting results. It's still 7 points at the Uni Main. Uni Blues 69 playing Scotch 62. But at the TH King Oval, the Uni Blacks have hit the lead. 80.
Wow.
St Kevin's 12-8-80 to the Blacks 12-9-81. 26 minutes down, it's the Blacks by 1 point.
Surely not again.
What a round of football.
Oh, poor old Anthony Plugger-Lynch. Raj has done a manful job on the boundary for us today, and he's about to have a conversation with the 4-goal start today for Collegians. Dylan Thomas, who has just been superb. He's been nominated for Big V this year. Dylan Thomas didn't make the squad after everything, but he's had a massive year on that wing and through half forward. He kicks goals. He's got a dicing left boot. He feeds the likes of Alex Lukic so well. And he's just about to join us here on the SEN Match of the Day call after his 4-goal performance. Will Thomas, the number 5 out of Collegians, is our Skins player of the day, and he joins Raj Johnston right now on field here at St Bernard's College Oval.
Thank you, Paddy. You got Dylan Thomas with me. Well done, Dylan. You're the Skins player of the game. You've won yourself a pair of Skins. It's a great game. You couldn't really fault. You look at the scoreboard, you'd be very pleased with your side's effort today.
Yeah, it's just great to win. We set out. It was a big target during the week. We knew this was going to be a big game, especially with relegation sort of around the corner. So it's nice to get the win and get out of the relegation zone.
Dill, Paddy Grindlay here from the Match of the Day call. I'm just watching the University Blues and Old Scotch game play out, and the Blues have won that game by 8 points. So with this win tonight, mate, you get yourself out of ninth position, and you're at the moment out of that relegation spot. How much have you spoken about that across the club? We know Geordie McKenzie's mentioned it. We know that your club president, Andrew Keneally's mentioned it, that you guys are desperate to stay up. How much does it mean to you, I suppose, to win in a day like this, in a game that your president labelled as a sort of grand final for your club?
Yeah, we sort of said we haven't been down since I think it's something like 2007 or something. So just I don't know. We've pretty much called it, literally a grand final this week. We knew this was pretty much the biggest home and away game since 2007, and the boys performed as good, brought the pressure and got the win.
Yeah, good deal, Hugo here, mate. Great game today. Getting 4 on the board, that's always good. It was a slightly different role for you. Did you play a bit deeper today rather than up on the wing?
Yeah, I've been playing mostly forward for the year, but try chop and change between high and deep. Whenever I get tired, I'll just go deep and stuff. I don't mind actually playing deep, one-on-one.
Yeah, you don't have to run as much down there. It's good.
I think I walked the whole last quarter.
Last one from me, Dill. We know that Geordie McKenzie is about to be a father. Is he still at the ground, or has he got the phone call yet?
No, I did hear he might have left at 3/4 time.
Right.
So I don't know what's going on there, but
best of luck.
Congratulations to him.
Best of luck to Geordie. Thanks very much for joining us. Dylan Thomas, our Skins Player of the Day, wins himself a pair of cutting-edge Skins compression tights, all thanks to Skins, the pioneers of compression. So Geordie McKenzie, he's off to the hospital.
He's left the building.
Fingers crossed that it's a successful day for Geordie McKenzie. He's got the Collegians win and now about to become a dad. So congratulations to him, and also congratulations to Dylan Thomas, our best on ground. He's also going to be a bit lighter in the pocket, you'd imagine, after getting on Media Street for VAFA Media. And Raj will be following in the Collegians players as they go to sing the song here at St Bernard's College. 92-55 victors. And we'll go through the goal kickers as Luke Smith is chaired off St Bernard's College in his 100th game. And weren't able to reward him with a goal in the fullness of time, but he's been a superb servant of this footy club over a number of years. So Dylan Thomas, the story with 4 goals. Max Pinchbeck and Alex Lukic helped him out with 2 apiece. Singles for Ong and Pockney, Walker, Putris, Archer. As well for Collegians, for St Bernard's, all singles. Alessio Liberatore, Watson, Dom Sullivan, Delizio, McNichol, Gillam and Holland. 8-7-55, St Bernard's, 13-14-92 Collegians, and they are off and out of the relegation zone as far as right now stands, with the University Blues winning over Old Scotch. We'll be following Raj Johnston into the Collegians rooms, and we might get to hear from assistant coach Jack Fitzpatrick in a few minutes' time, who is the stand-in for Geordie McKenzie. We did plan, if Geordie did have to make the flight to the hospital, that we would have a stand-in to chat to post-game, and we'll hear from Jack or someone else from the Collegians camp in a few moments' time. Right now, let's go inside the Collegians rooms and listen to the celebrations. Happy lot, the Lions boys, and Hugo Higginbotham. We like to review the team songs on the SEN match of the day. I think that's one of the more rhythmically straightforward ones.
Not a bad one, and they executed it really well. So, yes, that's...
4 marks.
Look, it's not the worst. There's a couple of shockers out there. A couple you don't even understand. Anyway, there's one in Taronga Malvern one is a song about the zoo. Like, right. What's the relevance of that? It's bizarre. Anyway, no, great win by them today, and very good. And I've just, flat. We've called a lot of Collegians games this year. I have, and I've always called the Collegians losing, and I've never had a chance to have Geordie up in the post match. And now
they've won one, and he's got to go be a dad.
But look, honestly, does he know how long women are in labour for as well? Well, my man didn't see me for 3 days after I was born. He was at the pub for 3 days.
We did have a chat about this to Geordie during the week. So I've been doing this for 2 years on the SEN match of the day, and I've yet to call a game where Collegians have won, and I've got to speak to Geordie McKenzie after full time. And now they've won one, and he's gone off to fly to the hospital. So all the best for the McKenzie family. In truth, it's a very exciting thing. He's about to become a dad for the first time. So congratulations to Geordie and his partner. So here at St Bernard's College, the final score, the Snowdogs 8-7-55 going down to Collegians 13-13-91, and Dylan Thomas with 4 goals, the story, an equal season high for him. Raj Johnston will join us in the commentary box, maybe after he tries to pull out Geordie McKenzie, not anymore. Jack Fitzpatrick, the assistant coach for Collegians, the former Demon and Hawk as well. So it's a little bit of the Demons Mafia down there, the Collegians Footy Club. And that does give us a moment to go around the grounds for Tobin Brothers Funerals. So there's a fair few results to get through. We'll start with the, I suppose, most straightforward of them today, and that's the one out at Waverley Oval in East Malvern between last year's Premier B Grand Finalists D-La Cell and Old Haileybury, and D-La still searching for its first win of 2025 in top flight. 6-7-43 going down to the Bloods, 12-8-80. So Old Haileybury getting it done by 37 points. And I think I saw a message from my caller, Brent Sternberg, who kicked 5. Andreas Stefanakis kicked 5, rather. That'd be a tricky one if he managed to run on. So, Andreas Stefanakis continuing his strong form. So he leads all comers as far as goal kickers are concerned in 2025. We'll move on next to the top of the table clash, and Old Brighton, I tell you this, Hugo Higginbotham, they do not lose at home. They led it by 15 points at three-quarter time, and then they kicked in the final term 4-2 and won by 33 points. 12-15-87, Old Brighton, 7-12-54, the Old Zaverians. So Old Brighton go into round 16, back on top of the table after winning that game against the Zavs. It's a battle for pride, really. We don't have any home games in the final series. We have neutral venues the whole way home, Hugo, so it's a nice little feather in the cap for Marcel Bruin and his team, but they'll be playing each other again, I'm sure.
Gives them both a good chance to have a look at each other as well. Because you're 100% right, Paddy, they will be playing each other later in the year. And if only the finals were played on Brighton Beach Oval, that would help Brighton because they're 6 goals better down there.
Yeah, correct. So 6 goals, actually, for Andreas Stefanakis for Old Haileybury, and 6 for Joey Campili on return for Old Brighton after playing the whole year for the Sandy Zebras. I mean, what a treat it is to be able to bring Joey Campili into your squad. Now we get to the really interesting ones. So we'll start first at the Melbourne University Oval. The University Blues, 9-16-70. That's that hot dog from earlier.
Wasn't the mustard.
9-16-70 University Blues. Apologies, everyone at home. To Old Scotch, 8-14-62. So the Blues, by 8 points, defeating the Cards, which has really livened up this ladder. We'll take you into all the machinations from that game. And then the one that's last to finish is over at the TH King, and we thought it was going to happen to St Kevin's again, but they've held on. Anthony Plugger Lynch's men, 14-10-94, defeating the University Blacks, 12-9-81. Sam Critchley and Will Pfeiffer kicking the last 2 goals of the game to take the lead back from the Blacks at the 26-minute mark and then again at the 30.5-minute mark. So St Kevin's in a close one over the Blacks, getting some revenge after the heart-stopper in the corresponding game at the University Oval earlier in the season. And of course here at St Bernard's College, it's the Snow Dogs, 8-7-55, going down to Collegians, 13-13-91. So the Author Sport Victoria ladder, Hugo Higginbotham, a few updates still to come, but at the moment Old Brighton are atop the ladder by percentage slightly and 1 game crucially from the Old Zaverians. And you've got St Kevin's in third, 2 wins back from the Old Zav, so the top 2 looks to be pretty much settled. So St Kevin's on 40 points in third, Old Haileybury on 36 points in fourth, the University Blacks on 32 points and with a worse percentage significantly than the Bloods in fifth. So it's Brighton, the Zavs, the Scobbers and the Bloods in the top 4 with the Blacks a game in percentage back. And then we might have a 4-way relegation battle because Old Scotch are 6-9 on 24 points. The University Blues, 5 wins, 2 draws and 8 losses, effectively 6-9, also 24 points. St Bernard's are on 22 points and Collegians on 22 points, but Collegians with the superior percentage would be jumping up, and they are in 8th position as we speak right now. So Collegians 8th, St Bernard's 9th. That's the story right now. If we were to end the season, it would be St Bernard's and D-La going down to Premier B, and the Lions and the Blues and the Cards surviving. It's all pretty complicated stuff on the run home. Hugo Higginbotham, we're joined by a man who would be right over the calculator and very focused on how things might work from a Collegians perspective. Jack Fitzpatrick, the assistant coach of the Lions, who joins us in lieu of Geordie McKenzie, who I hear, Jack, got the phone call.
He did. About 5 minutes before three-quarter time, he got the call that, his wife Bella's gone into labour. So he took the three-quarter time address and then he got going. So me and Jake Trotter, the other assistant coach, we're pretty filthy that the boys lost that last quarter because it reflects poorly on us. But we also said that you could argue that if Geordie was here, it could have been a full St Kilda Melbourne and whatnot.
Correct.
We actually we stemmed the tide. So we wish obviously Geordie and most importantly his wife and soon-to-be child all the very best.
Dad for the first time, Geordie McKenzie. So we were just speaking, I've been doing this call for 2 years, Jack, and I'm yet to call a Collegians win and speak to Geordie post-game, and now that you have managed to get one up, he's got to go off and watch his baby be born. So all the best for Geordie and the entire McKenzie family. Wonderful moment. Wonderful day for you. We heard from your president and from Geordie about how much effort you'd put into this game, knowing what it meant in the fullness of time with the run home and how tricky it might be, and having to battle the Blues and St Bernard's and now Old Scotch as well for a spot inside top flight in 2026. But I thought you were superb across the second and third quarters. You took the control of the game in the midfield and then you got the run on the outside. How did you see it?
Look, I think you've probably summed that up. I mean, there was a lot of effort that went into this game, no doubt about that. But I think our group's effort over the last 6 weeks or so, probably 8 weeks, has been quite strong. Last week we play against the side who's third and who are a pretty good side, and we get rolled by 4 points or whatever it was. And there's been a couple of other games as well that we've been in. So while this game obviously was massive given where things have fallen, and as you said, the second and third quarters we played some pretty good football, I think the group should be commended. We've had a few things not go our way just with availability and different things. So, today's really good reward for effort of what's been, I guess, building over the last couple of weeks and months.
Yeah, it's sort of been all year. I've called a few games, so I've got them written down here. So this is the sort of preparation I do. I've got notes and everything. No, but you lost by 4 to St Kevin's, by 7 to St Kevin's, drew with the Blues and lost by 7 to St Bernard's. So, and they all could have gone either way. So, and I spoke to Geordie a lot about it, and with a youthful side, you get those sort of games where the guys, because they ball watch and they go missing. Yep. But you brought in nearly 230 games of experience, and you can just see the difference. So how big has that been for the group?
Look, I think you see it everywhere, that the more experience you have, the better you are. Now, obviously, Collingwood are probably in a bit of a down patch at the moment, but you look at the first half, if we go back, say, a month ago against the Gold Coast, and they got smashed, and the Gold Coast smashed them. And then in the second quarter, Took Miller went off, Pendlebury came on at half-time, and the game changed. These are two very good sides with very good players, but I think you see the impact of that. And then I think was it the week after that Pendlebury didn't play and they got beat by Fremantle at the G in what ended up being a pretty close game. I don't think you can overestimate, or you can't put into words how important experience can be. And we have had some experience out. And yes, it goes without saying that having good players off the field hurts you, but it's not so much that, it's the ability to help coach the younger guys through. It's that when things aren't quite going your way, you can stem the tide a little bit more. And when you said those close margins that we've had, if we could just stem that tide a little bit better, we might be talking about a couple more wins. But, you can't go ifs, buts and maybes. We have been beaten by, some good teams as well. But I don't think you can overstate the importance of those senior players.
It's our post-match show thanks to Whitbread. Whitbread Insurance Brokers, they're trusted advisors to commercial and family businesses since 1978. And Jack, we noticed in our pre-game that with Jim Bazzani and Corey Cassidy back in as well this week, that's 228 senior games between them before today, on top of the likes of Kenny Ong and Sam Hibbins feeding back into this team as well. So you can really see it coming together, and it allows someone like Dylan Thomas to play their natural game and be able to play on the outside and then rush forward. Equal season high, 4 goals today. He's had such a super year.
Oh, without doubt, Dill's best, and I've said this, like his ability, particularly by foot, is... He's up there with some of the best I've seen, and I'm including AFL level at that. Like, some of the stuff he can do. Now, the one he probably pulled it out of his backside.
I've got to mention
the
that
far
one.
end in that last quarter. Like, the little handball to keep the ball in, and then kicks it off the ground and laces someone out. Like, he can seriously play. So, again, we look at, to look at AFL, and I think Harley Reid's a prime example at the moment. He's doing it all at the moment as the best midfielder in their team. He hasn't got the senior bodies and the senior players out there to help him, to protect him from all of that kind of thing. And you bring in your Cassidy, your Bazzani, etc. in games like this. They're the ones that can start to take those, those hard knocks. Kenny Ong was terrific, Pinchbeck, Hibbins, and it allows those younger or more inexperienced guys to go out and play footy without needing to put, for want of a better phrase, the team on their shoulder when things get tough.
Your next 3, speaking about tough, you get the top 2 in the next couple of weeks. So you take on Old Zaverians at home, you get Old Brighton away, and then you finish out the year with De La Salle. I think it's a great opportunity for your group now that you've got a few of those experienced players back that you mentioned, and then with the VFL finishing up as well to test yourself against the top of the competition. But one thing that Geordie mentioned to me during the week that I really enjoyed is that you're not going out to play these games to not lose them. You're going out to win them.
Yep.
And you could really see that with your intent today.
Yeah, it was. And, Geordie was big on that particularly today. That teams can go out and, we wanted to embrace the moment today of, yes, it was a massive game. And there were some people around the club saying it's probably the biggest home and away game that they've had in the time that they've been at the club. you don't want to shy away from that. You want to acknowledge that and embrace it, but you want to come out and play good football and play the style that we're trying to play. And as you said, play our way. So we've got 2 games coming up and 3 games coming up, but against the top 2 in what you specifically asked me. But right now it's just about next week. And what happens after that, we'll worry about that when we get there, because we've still got footy games to prepare for. We've got a reasonably young group that now is getting a little bit of experience back that we want to continue to try and teach them the right way, try and develop them, get some games into them. If we can come out there and pinch it by playing to win because we're trying to play a game style that we think will be, not just help us win these next 3 games, but whatever the long-term future is for Collegians, that's what we're trying to do. So next week, they were terrific when they beat us pretty well, and I think you guys called that game at their home deck midway through the year. So, our challenge is to minimise that margin, and then if we can't come out on front, get as very close to it as we can.
Yeah, he spoke about having young players in the group, which it's remiss of me not to get this guy in the call more often, but Jonty McGuinness is my favourite.
Here we go.
Now, he had a tough job today against Matt Soro, who's a great ruckman. I thought he played really well, got his hands on the ball pretty often. Forgive you guys' first look. How's his progress been through the year?
Look, Jonty just gives everything he's got, every single week. And I think there is something that he gets a lot of free kicks against him. And I think that the umpires do...
That's a sale coming out anyway.
They do a good job, but I'll be honest, I played in the ruck myself. I help him in the ruck. I look a lot of them, and I just don't think that they're there. I think he gets harshly treated, if I'm entirely honest about that.
The headband.
It is the headband, I don't know. But, he came from the country, right? He's a great country kid. The guys love him. The guys have embraced him. I know the off-field he's very popular. There's a couple of guys he's come up with that haven't played today, but that are good friends of his in Henry Anderson and Max Stobie.
The Mafra Mafia.
Yes, correct.
The Mafra Mafia.
Which doesn't include Jonty, by the way, for anyone listening.
But
his old man says that all the time.
Correct.
We're from Sale, not from Mafra. We hate Mafra.
I think it's just important to notice that, he did most of his senior footy playing in the back line and at centre-half back, when he was playing down there. So for him to come in, and obviously Big Dino for us, who had a pretty good year last year, he's been injured and out for the whole year. So Jonty's been thrust into the ruck without a lot of experience, and he just has a crack at it. His technique isn't absolutely perfect, and some of the free kicks he gives away, they're probably there. I think sometimes he probably gets some against him that I don't think are there, but I'm not the umpire. I just think his effort and his intensity to just go and go and go all year has been great for us.
Just one I can highlight, which I loved, it was right in front of me, was the hold down here, and the umpire went to explain it to him. He just gave him nothing, just kept walking. Goes to goal square. Poor umpire.
I like that.
Disappointed.
Know your role, play your role. 13 disposals and 34 hit-outs a game this year for Jonty McGuinness.
That's good as a ruckman.
Jack, before I let you go, you mentioned that you're in charge of Jonty's probably ruck development, I'd imagine. How many times have you shown him your goal out of the centre circles?
It's really not that hard, John. That's what I say to him every week. And I just talk to the midfield. If you can get out of the little blokes, it's not that hard.
Yeah,
you get the
get
ball,
out of the way.
Yeah. You get the ball tapped to you all game. You never follow anyone and play on anyone these days as a midfielder. They whinge about getting tagged. Well, why don't you go play as a forward who gets tagged every week? But you don't hear the forwards whinge about that. So just get out of the big bloke's way. Let him stream out of the centre and kick goals, because it really isn't that tough.
Exactly.
And,
right.
Obviously, with the Hawks Collingwood game on the weekend, it came up on social media again. So
I was very happy that you would be the man speaking to us, because sometimes they just fall in your lap.
It does fall in your lap, and I was very happy to reshare it. And as I say, if you want something done properly, you do it yourself.
Correct.
So, in that centre bounce, Sam Mitchell, Sean Burgoyne and Cyril Rioli, get those also runs out of the way. I'll do it on my own.
Feed the beast.
Who's the goal kicking coach?
Unfortunately, I'm going to have to put my hand up with that one.
Oh, boy.
And I say unfortunately because Lukic has let me down today. Yeah, he actually reckons it was funny. We talk about the kick being the most important thing and the purchase you get on it. And he said that majority of the kicks actually came off the boot okay, but they just didn't go straight. He had the one down here in the pocket that was on the full and probably nearly knocked you guys out, I reckon, from up here.
He did duck.
He's got so much ability, Luch, and he carries a lot of load because at times he's our only tall forward. His attributes to run and to, his athleticism is so good. I keep talking to him about also wanting to make sure he plays big. He can do the stuff that not many big guys can, and it's really exciting.
Very good below his knees.
He's so good below his knees, and he's so quick and powerful, and he's got a great sidestep. But it's important for him to continue to play big, and I think he gets that mix right more often than not. He's still quite a young player. He's still got areas of his game to improve, but I mean, the reality of today was, I think it was something like 2 goals, 5 and 2 on the full or something. He dominated today, and probably his best on ground if he kicks straight. where it probably lies is you could argue he might not even been the best just because it's part of his craft, and he didn't do that work. But look, he works hard on it, and I think that's a frustrating thing for as someone who wasn't a great kicker myself. I see the work that he puts in. Yeah. So, at training when he kicks 5 in a row or 10 in a row, it's great. And then today he gets a bit of reward, the marks and all those kinds of things, and he just doesn't kick it. So you just got to, deal with that sometimes because no one means to miss goals. And hopefully, if he gets a couple of opportunities next week, he'll kick a bit straighter.
Is he an overthinker?
Probably at times.
Yeah.
Probably at times. And that's something, we preach, I think, to all young players, not just him. For myself, one word that I always talk to the boys about is win. And how do you win? It's about what's important now. Break it down. Doesn't matter if you've had your last kick of goal was good or bad. It doesn't matter if you've had a good quarter or a bad quarter. All that matters is what's next. And it's trying to level players from not getting a bit ahead of themselves if they're playing well, but also don't get too down on yourself if you've had goals kicked against you or you've missed set shots, because with young players, they can sort of get in their heads a little bit. And it's just trying to get them to focus on what role they need to play in that given moment.
When they're young, they either overthink or they don't think. It's one of the two. You just got to find that happy medium.
What do you prefer?
Don't worry, I wasn't a thinker. That's easier.
I'm sure some of us, I agree with you, when they're young, they're like that. But I'm sure there'd be many who would argue that we're both in the same boat still. And that's not on field either. So.
Correct.
My wife tells me I don't think all the time.
Correct.
Let's not get you into trouble here.
Jack, she's away at the moment.
Thanks for jumping in at last minute, mate. Really appreciate the chat. You've got a big few weeks ahead of you. Best of luck.
Yeah, thank you for having me, and thank you.
Jack Fitzpatrick, the assistant coach of the Collegians Footy Club, with Geordie McKenzie on his way to hospital where his wife has gone to labour with their first kid. So a big congratulations and good luck to the McKenzie family. And thanks to Jack Fitzpatrick for jumping in, the assistant coach of Collegians, after a big win over St Bernard's today at the Snake Pit, where they are now out of that relegation race. 13-13-91, defeating St Bernard's 8-7-55. I should say out for now, because it is a close run thing. We'll go through the Author Sport Victoria ladder in just a moment. But before we do, Raj Johnston, an enjoyable day on the boundary for you?
Very enjoyable. I was furiously refreshing the app in the last quarter. There's so many results to play out, and there are a few rippers in there, so that was a great day. Yeah, we'll go through the ladder. We've gone through the results already. So the winners this week, the University Blues, Collegians, St Kevin's, Old Brighton and Old Haileybury. The ladder, the top of the ladder, Old Brighton leading from the Old Zavarians first from second. Then you go 2 games back to St Kevin's and another game back to Old Haileybury to round out the 4. At the other end, D-Low will go down. We know that they're in 10th, and then it's 4 clubs all in danger of going down to Premier B next year. You've got St Bernard's currently in 9th, 22 points, 5 wins, 1 draw, 9 losses. They are percentage down from Collegians, also on 22 points. Collegians with a percentage of 91.4 leads St Bernard's with a percentage of 73. So a significant advantage there for Collegians in the percentage race. 2 points ahead. Half a game ahead, the University Blues and Old Scotch, both on 24 points. The University Blues with a percentage of 92.8, the Old Scotch team with a percentage of 95.6. So the reigning premiers of top flight are not guaranteed a seat at the table in 2026. It would be a remarkable story, though we do know that with the VFL finishing up, Old Scotch will regain most of its VFL-listed players, the likes of James Tarrant, Ryan Valentine, Tyler Sellers, Harry Scott, who plays for Richmond as well, and there's a few others that I'm probably missing. So Old Scotch, it's a close run thing. It looks like with the players coming back that they might survive, but it's the Blues, it's Collegians and it's St Bernard's all fighting to stay in top flight for 2026, Raj. Scotch playing St Bernard's next week at home. Big game for both sides.
Massive game of footy. So if St Bernard's were to win that, they would leap over Old Scotch. The University Blues, they play the University Blacks in the University Derby. In Collegians, well, it's a really tricky game for them. They head out to play Old Zavarians at home at the Harry Trot. So there is a world, Hugo and Raj, where Old Scotch are in the relegation zone at the end of round 16. What a competition we have.
Amazing, then. That's the beauty of the 2 up, 2 down. Like you said, 20% of the competition moves on each year. It's exciting, and that's, look, I always say it as a coach, and I was talking to the group, is early wins are so important. Takes the pressure off later in the season. You can focus on these things. Who would have thought that? Now, well, they won that grand final last year, and anyway, like Matthew Donald always says, and I think you said this, your best ability is availability.
Always the case. We'll go through the winners as well for Premier B. Old Camberwell doing it easily over the Old Melburnians by 71 points. Old Trinity by 19 points over Old Geelong. Caulfield Grammarians away, winning by 8 points over Williamstown CYMS. That is massive for Paul Satterley and his crew. Old Carey by 68 over the winless Hampton Rovers. Old Ivanhoe by 79 over the soon-to-be relegated Fitzroy. So in that division, we're going to be joined by, it looks like, Old Trinity and Old Ivanhoe next year in top flight. They're both they're 2 games clear inside the top 2. Old Ivanhoe a game clear atop the ladder. So it looks like Jared Geeshan and Donald McDonald will be the next 2 coaches that we'll be speaking to in top flight. Raj Johnston.
No, that's right. And hasn't those 2 sides been consistent performers all year? Be really deserved if that is the case.
So the run home for Collegians. Old Zaverians at Toorak Park. Old Brighton at Brighton Beach. Old Zaverians, sorry, at the Harry Trott. Old Brighton at Brighton Beach Oval, and De La Salle at the Harry Trott. For St Bernard's, they get Old Scotch at Camberwell Sports Ground, Old Haileybury here at St Bernard's College, St Kevin's Old Boys here at St Bernard's College. So St Bernard's with this slightly more favourable run home of the 2 teams that we've seen today, Hugo, although Collegians playing De La in the last game of the season does feel like it could be a little bit of a gift for the Lions.
I think that one might be the key game coming home for that. But look, anything can happen. Look, Collegians come out, they played great footy today, the way they moved the ball through the middle of the ground. And you don't know what the other teams are doing, what their availability, injuries. There's so many factors. In any game of football, there's factors. And Collegians play a really good brand of football. So very, very interesting. Hey, remember when that umpire waved the flag?
Yes.
You know what that was for? The scoreboard was still out.
Really?
So he just thought the quickest way to get it up to scratch was
the point. Start of the third.
There you go. But that's a fun fact for you. I've never seen that before.
There you go. Tough day of scorekeeping here at the college.
I'm always good at changing the subject too, aren't I? What are we talking about again then?
Incidentally, the run home for the University Blues. They get the Blacks in the Uni Derby next week before they get the Old Zavs at Toorak Park and Old Brighton at Brighton Beach Oval. So it gets pretty tough for the Blues after this University Derby, which is coming up as the SEN match of the day. For Old Scotch, it's St Bernard's, as we mentioned, at Camberwell Sports Ground before. They get the Blacks at the University Oval and Old Haileybury at Princess Park in South Caulfield. So it's going to be a very tricky thing. A few ladder predictors being mocked up, I suppose, across top flight of the amateurs. And gentlemen, I think we'll get through our goal and mark of the day, and then we'll be just about done, I believe, on the match of the day. We'll start first with our goal of the day for Gallant Auctions and Valuers. For any auctions or valuations, you can contact St Bernard's Footy Club legend Jason Gallant, and he'll help you out. Hugo Higginbotham wasn't really that easy to pick one out. You're going to go with Ollie Liberatore?
Yeah, I thought that was a great execution. Purely gets it because he did the kick around the corner that Simon Petch hates.
Yes.
So you'll get the Simon Petch Award for the best kick around the corner.
The mark of the day is for Care Plus Auto Services. You can contact Mitch and the team for a premium vehicle service at 27 Racecourse Road in North Melbourne. This is much trickier. I might give it by committee to Luca Alessio for his work behind the footy today for St Bernard's. I thought he was superb.
Yes, I can't think of it. Look, there was a couple of maybes.
Alex Lukic in the first quarter as well was very good. They can share it. I think Lukic and Alessio, I think, by committee. We'll give it for,
that's
for Lukic
fair,
inside 50 and inside forward 50 and Luca Alessio inside defensive 50.
Yeah, they can share the cup.
Raj Johnston, thanks for your company today. Wonderful job on the boundary as always, and keeping us abreast of all the scores in VAFA Top Flight.
Thank you, Paddy. Now I think you need to go home and change your shirt.
I do.
After what happened at the start of the day, wearing half the hot dog.
For 4 hours of broadcasting. Never let anyone tell you that radio is easy. Hugo Higginbotham for Hit IQ. Wonderful performance from yourself again. Thank you.
Thanks, Paddy. It was a great day. It was a lot of excitement. We got through a bit of a tough patch, and just the 2 of us. How good's that? We did it. Yeah. We did it, my friend. Don't want to see you for a week.
No, me neither. My name's Paddy Grindlay. A big thank you to Jason Bennett, everyone back at VAFA HQ, and of course our wonderful techie Bruce, who keeps us on air and sometimes safe from disgruntled fans here in the pavilion. It's been a wonderful day once again, bringing you the SEN Match of the Day here in Top Flight of Amateur Football. We'll do it all again next week.
This has been the SEN Match of the Day. Thanks to William Buck. Join us again next week on the SEN app, sen.com.au and vafa.com.au.
Tickets are now on sale for one of the signature events on the VAFA calendar, the 2025 William Buck VAFA Finals Luncheon, held on Friday, September 5 at Zinc Fed Square. Join us as we celebrate the road to the VAFA and AFL Finals with 5-time Premiership player Dermot Brereton and 2-time Brownlow medalist Greg Diesel Williams. Secure your tickets today at vafa.com.au.
Are you looking to grow your business? William Buck are more than just accountants and advisors who can develop strategic growth plans for your business. With over 125 years' experience, William Buck has expertise in navigating through challenging times and has been working closely with the VAFA community, creating positive change for individuals, businesses and community organisations. William Buck's team of specialist advisors work collaboratively, providing you with 360 support. Schedule a complimentary consultation today by visiting williambuck.com.
Is your club celebrating a player milestone? Let us know at VAFA Media and we'll feature it in the Amateur Footballer. We're always on the lookout for stories that acknowledge outstanding achievements and the clubs behind them. Email us at media@vafa.com.au.
Hey guys, at GYG we never compromise on the quality of our food. That's why we only serve 100% free-range chicken. We're on a mission to reinvent fast food because who said fast food had to be bad food? Love ya.